things that people do. Working on a new theme song?
All right. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Actually, Jenny, you're not really late because Kitty and I were talking and we were having this big discussion. And then I just started like not even a minute ago.
I'm sorry. I can't talk to Kitty anymore. I hate her.
What did I do?
What'd you do now, Kitty?
Because she has a serger.
She does have a serger.
I love it. No, I just started it just arrived last night at the end of the stream.
So
yeah, she picked it up and like put it on the table at the end of the stream. It's great.
So that means it's brand new?
Yes.
Wow.
What have you used it yet? I mean, I know you've played with it. Come on.
Well, there's this top that I'm wearing that was just some scrap fabric, and I was just playing around with it. So like the stitching's a little bit wonky, and it's like rainbow colored because they gave you a different color thread for each of the four, because there's 4 different threads. So like there's the 4 dials. So when it comes shipped, it's got crappy little thread, and there's a blue, a green, a red, and a yellow, so that you can see how the stitches interlock with each other. And I was so excited and happy and proud of myself because first try I was able to thread this bitch, which was an adventure, let's just say. Threading a serger, you've got 4 threads to deal with, and you have to wind them inside this thing and put them through little loops like underneath, because there's 2 threads on this side, which are your lower and upper loopers, and then you've got your 2 needle threads, because there's actually 2 needles in the machine. And I'm actually working
you were saying the other 2 that don't go through the needle, you could do ribbon and stuff with too.
Exactly.
And weave it into that's cool.
I'm actually working on a sweater for myself right now. And I've done this all with the serger. Like, here, I'll pull this down. You can see I made it nice and big and loose because I like comfort, but you can see the serged
oh, nice. That looks totally professional.
The sleeves. And then the hood, I did a blind hem on it, so you don't really see much of anything on this side, but then on this side you can see where it was hemmed, and it's got that nice serged edge.
Yeah.
And like and working with stretch fabrics, having the serger, I made a sweater for my sister. I was brought to tears a couple of times. I was so frustrated with the damn machine and how I was fighting with the fabric. It was just so miserable using my sewing machine.
Wait a minute. You did all that since last night?
This was this afternoon. I literally cut these pieces out this afternoon, and I sat down to sew it. And like, what's taking me the longest is figuring out how I want to put these pockets on, because I was going to make it a zip up hoodie, but then I'm like, I made it extra large, and I forgot to take into account that since I was serging it instead of sewing and then serging, seam allowances. So it's even bigger than I had intended, which is fine for me because I like big flowy like sweaters anyway. So I've decided to turn it into a hooded like duster cami or a duster cardigan instead of a zip up hoodie. So I'll have to enclose it. It's just a stretch knit. So
like a typical
a jersey knit?
Yeah, kind of. Like you can see when you pull it, it like wants to roll on the edge. So and it's
I
really
love it.
soft.
The color and the length, it's just gorgeous.
This fabric, I got 4 yards of it.
That's the first time in a month I've seen Jenny go, I want to see that.
Well,
I got this fabric in the bargain bin at Walmart. I got 4 yards of it for $4. Not $4 a yard, $4 total.
Wow.
So I can make a couple of these.
That's crazy. That is so cool.
All
Can you flip the pocket inside out to stitch it?
Yeah. So basically,
I mean, can you flip it? Can you flip the pockets inside out just to stitch around the edge and the bottom?
Yeah. Essentially, what I'll be doing is running it through the serger like this, and it will secure the pockets in place. I wanted to get them pinned to check for length, and placement and how I wanted to do it, because I was debating how I was going to put these pockets in.
Yeah, and you want to like put it on and figure out where it would be comfortable for you. I mean, if you're making it for yourself, you might as well customize it, right?
Exactly. And like that's like the whole reason why I got this is I need new clothes. Clothes are expensive.
Yeah, I can't afford them.
So yeah, buying the serger was not cheap. I mean, I'm back, set back $250, but that's the benefit of putting it on my credit card and then just paying it off over a couple of months, where I can just drop $50 a month on it and be done with it. Sure,
well, you could sell just one of those a month for $50, and it would just pay for itself in the first 5 months.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You could, in the catalogs, a basic cardigan like that is getting $45. Handmade is always more valuable than store-bought.
Yep.
You could get 50, 60 a piece, easy.
I agree.
But I'm not a capitalist.
It's not about capitalism. It's just about paying for the tools you have.
Yeah, it's about funding yourself.
Use them to pay for themselves. That's all. It has nothing to do with. You could literally just make 5 of them, or maybe 6 of them, and charge like $40 each, or $50 each, or whatever, and then it just pays for itself. That's all. You're not like trying to like rip people off or anything. For something that's homemade, that is that size and that well made, $50 is a bargain. If you feel bad about it, go on Etsy and see what they're selling for that are handmade on there, and then you'll know that it's a reasonable price.
I guess. I don't know. To me, sewing is fun, and like the minute I start doing it for profit of any kind, I think that's going to take the fun out of it for me, because then I have quotas and deadlines and.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest doing that. I'm talking about pre-making them and then just selling those, and then be like, that's it, I'm done.
I mean, I might
just make
do
something that. And if you decide you want to sell it, you sell it. If you don't, you don't, and make something else and make the same decision.
There you go.
Some things you don't.
Yeah, there doesn't have to be pressure to it. Just on your own time, whenever you want to do something. If you feel creative and you make it, but you don't want to keep it yourself because you just wanted to make it, then sell it.
I found somebody
harm in that.
on the TV news here, local, who I wish I could just call her right now and go over and work with her. But I need to learn how to sew better before I do that. She gives lessons.
Hey, I still need to learn.
You got to hear this. She solicits and is able to obtain wedding dresses, bridesmaid outfits, and prom dresses. Mm-hmm. And then she goes through each one and does any repairs necessary, any cleaning necessary. Sometimes she'll take it apart and make it into something else. But just all kinds of stuff like that. Original things. She'll bring high school kids in that need a gown and say, okay, well, we're going to learn how to make one then.
Right.
And do these repairs and stuff. And then you can have it for free.
Right.
and she's doing this and has done hundreds and hundreds of girls and weddings and things like that. And it just sounds like so much fun. She's around my age.
Well, that's cool. She's doing something she loves, and yeah. It's
really neat. I would love to
Kitty,
hook up with her.
Caden said there's a difference between capitalism and supporting your hobby by selling some occasionally. Doesn't have to be for profit.
That's true. And what I might do is I might make just a couple of pieces and have them as like a limited run kind of thing, where it's like I can customize them. I'll make like a couple of bags and a couple of like hoodies or something like that, and then it'll be fun to do. And then I can just have the community, if they want like a limited run thing, and it's like, I don't know, I'll think of something.
You could put it in the DMs on Twitter and somebody will probably buy it.
Kitty, you need to understand about socialism that making profit exists in a socialist economy.
No, I know. I know.
And it's the intent and what's done with it in the end that's the difference.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've always, like, I do things because I enjoy them, not to make a profit at it, you know? Like,
yeah. But it's not like you're selling this stuff so you can make money so you can enslave children. Like you're just purchasing tools so you can do your hobby more.
Well,
People have way
children.
worse habits than that.
I'd sell children; they're profitable.
No, what
yeah, you can make like $100,000 off
children.
A plain white baby.
Nay. You're supposed to eat the children, not sell them. Your atheism wrong.
Kaden said, also, don't take this as you must sell stuff. We're just letting you know it's not selfish to do so. Thank you, Cadence.
That's a good demon.
Are we on air?
You get extra treats.
Yeah, we've been on air this whole time.
Oh, geez, I didn't realize that.
I started, that's what I said when you came in. I just started it like 30 seconds before you came in. I had literally just hit the live button.
Is the surger too loud? Like, I'm trying to go slow because the faster I go, the louder it gets.
We can hear it, but
it's a beautiful sound and it doesn't interfere.
If it bothers me, if it starts bothering me, I'll just mute you. You're fine. Hi, Gio. How are you, buddy? And thanks everybody for coming in. I appreciate all of you, and I love that you guys come back, and I appreciate all the good conversations and stuff. So thank you.
So we can talk about some sewing history.
We have sewing history. Wait a minute, is this the sewing circle? This is the wrong stream, Kitty.
I'm talking history, so there.
History. That's right. That's what we're doing.
It's History Day.
Yeah. It's History Day.
So, fun fact: there is a ton of like propaganda out there about how bad corsetry is, and how corsetry, was to oppress women, and yada 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 yada. Here's the thing, like back in ye olden times, you had three main professions that were involved in the making of clothing. You had tailors, which was a traditionally male-dominated profession, and they used patterns like we use today. You had mantua makers, which were the dressmakers, and they would, rather than using patterns, they were all about how they draped the fabric over a form so that they could basically make gowns, and they were the ones that made the dresses for women, especially, wealthier women. And mantua makers were actually female. It was a female dominated profession. And then there was milliners, which were your accessories, your gloves, your hats, your, muffs and all that. Right. That was also originally pretty female dominated. But then the men realized that they could make bank at it, so they started taking it over. Corsetry was actually, corsets were made by women for women and sold by women. It was a entirely female-led profession.
Hi, Jenny.
And before the invention of the bra, especially for all my busty girls out there, can you imagine life without a bra? It's not fun. So, corsetry, it was essentially, there were corsets and there were stays, but it was giving you back and chest support. And you had women that were working farms and they were wearing corsets. Every woman wore a corset. It wasn't about tight lacing to get a 20-inch waist. Nobody fucking did that. The rare few that did were the exception.
Breathing and then took it off.
But when it comes down to it,
some of them would try to go too tight because they gained weight, and that is true. That did happen, and they were squishing their lungs so they couldn't breathe right, and they'd pass out and start getting dizzy and shit. But that wasn't like something that happened to every single person. That didn't.
And most of those fainting spells that you hear about, they were actually just propaganda because it was the men trying to put the women out of business by demonizing corsets. The same demonization we have now, you had back in the 19th century. it was horrible, like the way that they were trying to vilify and pretend like, oh, these are horrible devices of torture. And it's like, no, they gave women the support they needed, but it was a way to put women in their place, because corset makers, again, they were made by women, designed by women, sold by women. Women were making money doing this, and the men did not like that. I mean, this is also a time when you had hysteria, which was, basically women fainting or getting hysterical. Like, and the solution for it was literally going to the doctor and being massaged to climax, because they thought that, massaging the clitoris would cure female hysteria. That's actually how the vibrator was invented. It was because doctors were getting sick and tired of the wrists and hands cramping up because it was taking too long. So the vibrator was invented.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
As a medical device for female hysteria. It was invented as a medical device.
You know what that proves
ease the hands
to me?
Of doctors.
You know what I hear when you say that? What I hear is men have been fucking up having sex with women forever. Yes. That's what I hear.
But it was,
and they're actually getting better now because they're starting to like realize that they were doing it wrong. That's what I'm hearing. Mm-hmm. Women had to go to the doctor so they could orgasm. Come on, guys.
Yes.
Ooh, that's horrible.
And I mean, the sad thing is, like, vibrators are great, and but the thing is
this is not the type of history taught in school.
Like, you have 19th century, 19th century doctors, like late 19th, early 20th century, to thank for that. Like, or actually, it probably would have been early 20th century, like, around the turn of the century, like very late 1800s to early 1900s. But yeah, no, doctors were complaining about the fact that they had to keep essentially masturbating these women to climax, to cure their female hysteria. And that's why the original vibrator was invented.
Dude, like the doctors were like, this is a chore, man. These days, doctors would be like, I got you, baby. I'll hook you up. Some women went every day, JR. Oh, by the way, JR's here, so he said we can start now, so we got to start over. You tell all that again. No, I'm kidding. Some women went to the doctor every day, huh, JR? Whew. Man, that is insane. People wonder why I'm gay. Shut the front door. No, that's not why, but
so yeah, like, and a lot of the corset myths
in a better direction for men.
A lot of the corset myths persist to this day, and I mean, fainting spells were not really a thing. And like, you can see even people, like modern people that are, historical reenactors or like historical costumers, like they will tell you, like, there's one woman, like, she's actually done videos on it. It's a great channel to check out. Her name's Abby Cox, and she just started her channel like a year ago, like during the pandemic, and it blew up because one of her videos went viral, and it was basically showing her wearing essentially like 19th century clothing. And she's like, I dressed like this for 5 years when I was like a historical reenactor. Like, she worked, like the old timey, like, place where, you go as a school kid and you see them like toning butter and all that. So she worked at
we had a place like that. Yeah, it was called Fort New Salem.
Yeah, so she worked somewhere like that.
They established the town around it. But anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so she worked somewhere like that, and she put out a video saying, like, essentially, I dressed like this for 5 years, and 5 years of wearing a corset every day, and this is what it taught me. And she's done several videos talking about, stays and corsets, and they're not the same thing. Stays are actually a precursor to corsets. And usually a lot of people, they think it's a corset. It's actually stays, but like the algorithm and just in general, people know the term corset more than they do the term stays. But yeah, no, like it's fascinating to look back, and like the fainting spells were incredibly like overblown. The tight lacing was overblown because, again, everybody wore corsets, even like women working on a farm wore a corset. It gave them back support, posture support, and it supported their boobs.
Do you know
They
why
were able
women
to do everything?
Do you know why women had issues back then? Most of them, it's because they were opiate addicts. They give them like this serum at the drugstore to make them feel better. And it was like fucking like, what was it?
The
I
patent
want to say it
medicine.
was like opium or something like that.
Yeah, it would be opium or morphine. Morphine was a common one. Like morphine was in kids' cough suppressant, like cough medicine for kids.
Absolutely.
It had morphine in it.
I mean,
And
hell,
then
when my mom
you had
was in high
cocaine.
school, when my mom was in high school, she was born in 1942. So in 1957, 58, Coca-Cola, when she was in high school, it had cocaine in it. And when they were done at school, they'd all stop at the soda stand, you know, the old-fashioned style soda stand where they have the milkshakes and all that shit. Yeah, soda fountain. So they'd stop at the soda fountain, and they'd all get a Coke, and they would run from school over to get their Coke in the afternoon. They had to have it. That Coke had them all fucking addicted. But no, a lot of women back then that were passing out and having vapors and fainting or whatever the fuck they called it were because of the shit they were. They were like doing some serious drugs.
I mean,
and they
there's
didn't
also
realize they thought it was helping them. So they'd start feeling crappy from it and they'd drink more thinking, oh, we got to fix this. And then they were fucked up, you know, they just didn't know. They thought the doctors were right.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of the reasons why the Food and Drug Act was passed. But fun fact, and, you know, silly little unintended consequence, the Food and Drug Act that basically made it so that, you know, snake oil salesmen and like the patent medicines that, you know, people were taking that had opium, cocaine, morphine, etc. in them. What made that illegal? It also made Kinder eggs illegal. Because in the language, like Kinder eggs are something you can get in Europe and pretty much every other country. And it's basically a layer of chocolate, a layer of marzipan, and then a little capsule with a toy in it.
Yeah.
So they're delicious, but they're actually illegal. And you cannot bring them legally into the United States because of the Food and Drug Act. There was language in there that it basically made it so that they're not legal because there's part of it that's not edible, namely the capsule that has like the toy inside.
Where is this illegal at?
The entirety of the United States. Kinder
That's
eggs
not true.
are
We
illegal.
sell them here.
No, those are Kinder Joy, and they're separated. The actual true Kinder eggs, where it has the chocolate and the marzipan, are not legal.
Kinds.
Yes, there's different kinds. Yeah.
No, that makes sense though, because kids just throw shit in their mouths.
But here's the thing, though. Back in like the 90s and the early aughts, I remember then there were Wonder Balls, and the original Wonder Balls had a toy inside in a plastic capsule. Then they changed it to now it's candy. But I remember, and I'm like, why are Kinder eggs illegal when these things aren't? And it's the exact same fucking thing.
Oh, I wonder, what's in a Wonder Ball?
I remember.
I totally remember that.
Oh,
Junie, how the hell are you?
Junie.
Thanks for coming over, honey. Got all kinds of people showing up now. That's why I don't rush to start anymore. Everybody shows up late. They're all like, everybody's like 15 to 30 minutes late. So I just don't even rush. You know,
the only
people that show
up
early go off and do stuff and wait for me to start talking anyway. So it's not like they're sitting there staring at the screen going, come on, any second now. I mean, Ox might be, but Ox loves me. He's my buddy. He's like my brother. Geo Sam said the cough medicine I received while in the service was chock full of morphine. We would line up to get a cap full of the stuff. Yeah, right? Yeah. Right? Hell yeah, that shit'll suck you right in, man. It will do it. It's a fact. Oh, Randy's going live in like 30 minutes. Harmonica Man. Huh.
Scoot the right over there.
Ox is great. I was just about to go in a game when I saw you were going live. Well, thanks for coming over. Uh-oh. I'm going to read you the comment. Don't look, Kitty. I'm going to read you the comment. You tell me who wrote it, okay?
All right, I won't look.
Quagmire says giggity giddy giggity to Kitty's jiggly bosoms.
Oh, that's probably Randy.
Huh?
It's probably Randy.
Nope. Close though.
Stool?
Yeah, there it is. There
I know it was one or the other.
The tip off was the word bosoms.
This is true.
Because Randy.
But then again, I've heard Randy say that. I've heard Randy say it before, I believe. But yeah, it is more a stool word.
Yeah, bosoms is a stool word for sure. Hi, Stool. How are you? Yeah, Ox said the other bald guy, Kitty. Oh, that's pretty funny. I knew you'd be able to guess it by bosoms. Sandy says, besides, I'm the one that opens the window when the reminder comes through, but I wasn't sitting here waiting on you. I was outside. Oh, well, that's good. Good. I don't want anybody to sit there and just stare at the screen. That's ridiculous. Go do whatever you got to do. You'll hear my big ass mouth. Hi, Maya. How you doing, sweetheart? Thank you for coming, Sandy and Maya. And I think that's all we have new for right now. So we had Jenny in here, and then she said something, and then poof, she was gone.
Maybe she's having technical issues.
She probably is. Her internet gets all crazy sometimes on her. So
still better than Randy's.
No, it's true. Oh my God, that man, he's on a 6 to 8 second delay, and he junk shops constantly.
Like literally, I think he's actually in the past, and he's still on fucking 56K dial-up. Like I just half expect to hear like the noise in the background.
Yeah, whatever.
Exactly.
Well, that's
I just
cool,
have to be
JR.
really careful with this because there's a blade. I mean, technically, I can stop the blade, like I can disengage it. So, but I don't want the fabric to get up over the blade because then it can jam. So, like, I just have to be really careful at this part because I don't want to cut the edge here. So I just have to make sure that it's running just to the inside of the blade.
Right.
But I'll show you the pocket once it's done sewed on.
Okay.
Like one side of it will be done.
Cool.
And like I said, if the machine gets to be loud, I can mute. Just let me know.
Yeah, you're fine. Judy said, I time travel too, but that's my attempt to stop Reagan from being president.
Oh, God. No, I would stop fucking Mitch McConnell from being born.
Oh, my God. I have a list. I think we need to go back to like Kennedy's time first and stop him from getting shot in the head.
Yeah, I think that the country would be better off. Or
there was a sharp turn with things when that happened. There was a sharp turn.
Or maybe
there's lots of
the
them
term
throughout
limits
history.
They set for FDR because like they're like, oh well, we can't beat FDR on policy, so let's set term limits for the presidency. Because then we might have gotten a third term of Obama, and like that would have been pretty nice, and we wouldn't have had Trump.
Better than the orange ape. Anybody's better than the orange ape. Warning, don't get your fingers near Kitty's needle.
Well, there's 2 needles and a knife over here.
That's a man's nightmare right there. Unless you're talking about fingers, that's different, but
so there's these 2 threads here go through these 2 needles in here, and actually if I turn that off you might be able to see a little bit better. Yeah, so there's 2 needles in here, and so these 2 threads get threaded through the top into here. These 2 threads get threaded underneath in the bottom of the machine, and you do need tweezers for threading a serger. Like it's not hard, but if I tried to do it without tweezers, I probably would have been reduced to tears and pulling my hair out.
Right. That always sucks. For anybody in my little chat there that wants to come in, there's a link. Yes, Stool, I put it up there for you as well. You are welcome to come in as long as you behave. Just be a good boy. Shine your head first. Make sure you're nice and clean.
Hey, I like Stool. He's a sweetheart.
Judy said Obama having a third term was the fear of people back in the day. New World Order and stuff. Antichrist. And what else was it? What did that say? I have hit my microphone like 10 times. I'm not used to it yet. Oh, New World Order and stuff. Antichrist. You get it. Yeah. Yeah, that was some weird shit they came up with. Oh, he's from blah, blah, blah. He's not a citizen. He's the Antichrist. Anybody that goes against the Republican rhetoric, or should I say the right-wing rhetoric, and that's the Antichrist, right? And if you follow along with it and be a sucker, then you're not an Antichrist. Check. Yes, those people are stupid, Maya. Agreed. Stool knows how to behave on my stream, don't you, Stool? Oh my God, Alex.
All right, and then I'll probably end up tacking this stitch down so that it's flat, but I'll do that on my other machine, just sewing a top stitch down the bottom, because essentially I didn't want to cut out another pocket piece. And I kind of like the look of the pocket on the outside with like the stitch there. So I just need to stitch it flat. But
Geo Sam said, don't tell sewing jokes. You'll always run out of new material. That was a good one. I actually had to hold that laugh back for a minute. Junie said, did my artwork yesterday a bit, but I do have some old cringy graphic designs from when I used to be a conspiracy nut. Really?
Okay.
I'm scared.
We got a nice big pocket that fits my whole arm. And it's got a hood. See, I like I like cloaks. Like, I like sweaters that are like cloaks. So this side is pretty much done. I've got my pocket. I still have to finish the edge on here, and I've got to finish the sleeves, which are a bit long, you know. I might even make these a little bit.
You can put them whatever length you want. Yeah.
Basically, I just need to hem the ends. But I'll probably cut off some of the material and then do like a thumb hole thing, because I like my thumb holes. But I don't know. I like big, loose, baggy sweaters.
I can't stand having my hand stuck in a sleeve. I don't even like long sleeves, period.
Like,
except
to me,
when I'm
like,
freezing ass cold.
This is like the perfect sleeve length, where it's like just to my fingertips. Like, that's perfect to me. But I wanted a nice big baggy sweater, and again, like, this was the extra large, and it's a little bit bigger than it normally would be, because rather than sewing it at the 5/8 seam allowance, I literally was just, you know, like, it's 5/8 of an inch bigger at all the seams than it needed to be. But again, like, I like flowy, loose, fabricy type things.
Right.
I don't know. And I like hoods.
Hi, Doctor. Dr. Osiris is here. Welcome. We're just bullshitting right now because, you know, Kitty gave us a little sewing history. Yeah, she did. She was talking about history of sewing. We went off into the history of people drinking medicine and serum to help their issues, and they were just doing a bunch of drugs. So we talked about that.
Oh, fun fact about that, like a continuation. The original drug laws that made those drugs, like cocaine and opium and morphine and all of that, made them controlled substances or made them illegal, had nothing to do with public health. It was basically racist propaganda. So they used to give cocaine to black dock workers. It's a stimulant. God. No, all of them have a racist history. For cocaine, it was they gave it to the black dock workers, and because of some riots, revolts kind of thing, because they were treated subhumanly. The propaganda term of the cocaine crazed N-word, and they were going to go and rape the white women kind of thing. So that was the propaganda. So cocaine became illegal because of that. For marijuana, it was against the lazy Mexican immigrants. And there was a time in Texas you could get life imprisonment for any marijuana contraband. And again, like, it was to persecute the Mexicans, was why marijuana was made illegal. Also, it helped the lumber industry because, like, it was a direct competitor for paper because hemp makes better paper.
Right, hemp, right.
For opium and its derivatives like morphine, that was against Asian immigrants. They brought them here to build the railroads, and then they would have opium dens, and they're like, oh, they're going to lure the white women into the opium dens, get them hooked, and then have their way with them. Literally, it always came down to, think of the white women, they're going to get raped by insert minority here.
Right. Oh my God. I had no idea.
And that's where our drug laws started.
Hello.
How are you today?
That's pretty much the history of the whole war on drugs right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I had no idea that happened like that. I told you I don't know shit.
And you can see how successful it's been.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they definitely stopped all of drugs coming in the United States.
Time to take a toke.
Yeah, right. I'll be right back.
But no, like, honestly, if prohibition taught us anything, it's like, or the prohibition of alcohol, if that taught us anything, it's that prohibition doesn't actually work.
Yep.
All it does is feed the black market and give organized crime like a foothold and power. Like, the mafia was never at its most powerful other than when prohibition was in the prohibition of alcohol was the law. That's when the mafia gained all of its power. The cartels now, the reason they have so much power is literally because of the war on drugs. It does nothing to stop people from doing drugs or the trafficking of drugs. All it does is make the fucking crime bosses a bunch of fucking money. And it makes it harder for people who have drug addictions to seek treatment.
Maya said that's by design. They don't want you to know shit. You're right. You're right, Maya. They don't. It's absolutely the truth. You guys like talk amongst yourself. I'm going to run to the little truck driver's room. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody else is in here.
Like Kitty was saying, that's all, propaganda they're spreading. So if they're spreading false propaganda, they don't want you to know the truth because that unravels their story.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Hi, Swede.
Hello. I heard somebody talk about the economic principles of black markets. So
right.
Carry on. I'll be right back.
It's like Beetlejuice. Somebody brings up economics, like you just show up, which is lovely and fantastic. By all means, take it away.
No, you pretty much got it. It's a simple thing. If you reduce access to something, then a black market will form.
Can we reduce
that's what happened in
poverty?
Colorado initially when the taxes were too high. The black market actually went up because now people could hold it without fear of getting caught with it. But the dispensaries were so expensive that they were still getting it from their local dealer.
Mm-hmm. So it seems like whatever we declare a war on in the United States ends up getting worse. Like the war on terror, we have more terrorism. The war on drugs, we have more drugs. Can we declare a war on poverty? Or
we have a war on poverty.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we need to fix it a little bit more. I don't think they care as much about the war on poverty,
Well, the Republicans are waging a very successful war on the middle class.
This is true.
Yeah, we've had a war on everything. I think we need to stop with the language of war on something.
No, absolutely agree. And we need to stop getting into wars of aggression against countries that didn't attack us and then staying there 20 fucking years and, bleeding our coffers to fucking pay for it when our roads and infrastructure are crumbling and we have people losing their homes because of medical fucking bills.
Hi, Randy.
Not to
If
mention
you want to know
families
why
are
all those
overseas
wars happened,
from the other parts of their families.
I would suggest you go read the book Confessions of an Economic Hitman.
Can you send me a DM to remind me of that?
CIA.
Because I will forget.
That will explain every single war that we have ever fought in the last 70 years.
Hi, Randy. How are you?
Hi, B. Hi, everybody else. Pretty good. I'm about ready to have a bonfire.
Oh, I was wondering why
So,
you're sitting outside.
And a live show here in about... Yeah, I just thought I'd do a live tonight, and I'm just kind of late getting set up, so I'm out here now. I'm going to have to get some mosquito spray, though. Holy moly.
What's Maya got to say? Oh, yeah, we declared a war on poverty and the prisons filled up. Yep. It's a fact. And she said, all wars have an adverse effect on the poor. We need to stop declaring them. Yep. Oh, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, well, and again,
I agree with that, too.
They line the pockets of the rich because all the equipment they have to make that gets destroyed.
Well, the first chance that countries like that have to not get invaded are the IMF and the World Bank come in and try to give loans to these countries and set them up to fail through piss poor economic forecasts that are put together by economic hitmen who actually are the ones who lie to the bankers about these countries' ability to repay the loans. When they default on them, then they're in the pockets of, say, the United States and NATO, and are able to basically force them to give their votes in the UN or, contracts to certain contractors in the United States, whoever, however. Halliburton would be why we invaded Iraq, because Halliburton didn't get the contracts to do all the oil infrastructure in Iraq to begin with. The second part is if you refuse that, then the CIA comes in and does a feasibility on, regime change. If they think that it's feasible, a la Bolivia was a year ago or 2 years ago, then they try to do a regime change. And then the regime change, then they go back to step one. And the loans come in and the IMF and the World Bank. If that fails, then we invade them.
Of course, America.
Yep.
Yes, Dr. Osiris, you are welcome. He whined a little bit because he didn't have a wrench, so I went and gave him a wrench because I'm too nice. Hi, Stool. Can't hear you.
Right.
Still can't hear you. Still can't hear you. He's not muted on StreamYards. He's muted somewhere else.
You're messing with us, aren't you?
He's got all of us. I don't know what he's doing.
Either that or he's intentionally muted somewhere else and he's talking to somebody else.
Well, then I'll just kick him out of here. What the hell's he doing coming in my panel if he ain't talking to us? What the fuck?
I may have accidentally fucked up.
Oh, there we go.
Very
now
quiet,
we can
though.
hear you.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta run. Have a good night, guys.
You too, Randy. I'll send everybody over when we're done here, okay?
All right, yeah, this fire is going to be going for a while. It's going to be nice and peaceful and all that stuff.
Cool, man. I'll throw a link in before I leave.
Because I was worried because Randy was sat outside in the real
I can't
world.
hear a word he's saying. That's quiet.
I can hear him, but he's kind of quiet. Turn yourself up, Stool.
Dude, what the fuck have I done? I always sound awesome. What have I done wrong? Have I broken
You're
something?
just a little quiet. It's not that you sound bad.
Oh, dear. This is not good.
Yeah, I haven't done a bonfire in a long time. I usually go camping. I didn't go the last 2 summers, but obviously last year no one was going camping. But normally I go camping and I do a nice big fire, and yeah, I miss doing that. Gonna have to try to do that this summer.
I hate StreamYard so much.
Yeah, I miss having a fire pit in the backyard.
Maya, no, I don't live in, well, I have a tiny home. I don't have a camper. But I don't live on a campsite. I rent a spot off of some friends and park out here like on a permanent basis. I mean, I can move my house whenever I want. But I really would hate to redo all of the jack stands and stuff. So let's stabilize it. But no, it is not a like camper. It's homemade, so it's sturdy and will last a very long time.
You must always be very stable.
Got to be stable, man. It's a fact. It actually kind of sucks because it's so sandy and the dirt and everything's so loose out here, you know, because it's like a rough sand with little tiny rocks in it, you know. And it's so loose out here that with the wind blows so much, you have to like reset your tiny house every couple months. So I'm due to do that probably this weekend.
I've got to ask that question, B, because you know how damned interested I am in this. You call it a tiny house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that okay? I'm going to go for this. Would you think that was a bad thing to call somebody to live in? Because I think that's a really cool fucking thing to admit to.
I mean, I don't care about
I know
what
you
people
don't care.
think about it.
I know you don't care. But
I know
just
actually in the United States still there is a very large tiny house movement.
I love
And they're
how you
becoming
call
more and
it
more prominent. And now there's companies that are building tiny houses custom
I
and
love how
also
you call it a
building generic
house.
tiny houses that people can buy. So it's actually becoming a thing because people are realizing that they don't need all that crap and they don't need all that space. And they're just spending too much money every month on a fucking
exactly.
mortgage. You know, I have a house that cost me totally out of pocket. I'm at 13,000 right now, like 13,200. And I can move it wherever I want. So, yeah, Maya, there is a significant difference. Campers are built with little tiny 1x2-inch boards that are not sturdy. And then they put shitty insulation in them. And then they put the wrap on the outside is the best part of any given camper. They all eventually leak. They're not sturdy. And if you ran a camper into a tree, you have a big hole in the side of it. So I have a cargo, hold on. I have a cargo trailer that I converted into a tiny home. It has steel frame all the way around. It's wrapped in double thickness aluminum of what most campers are made with, because this is made to like carry like tools and ATVs and stuff like that. So it is a lot sturdier, and I don't have leak issues. So yeah, I mean, there's still some improvements I need to do to it. My kitchen sink doesn't work yet, but I'll get to that. But no, there's a significant difference. So current unit Junie is in is 25 by 25, so I guess it's still tiny. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, basically a sturdy homemade camper. Like I built everything in here. Not only does it have a metal frame, but everything that all the built-ins I did, like my loft bed and everything, it's all built out of 2x4s. So there's no like little cheesy. I can get on top of my bed and like jump up and down and everything, and it'll move my whole house. But the frame of the bed will never shake.
I find this to be very interesting. And I'm not being patronising in any way. And by the way, I look like a dick because I'm listening for the food delivery, so I don't usually wear my headphones like this.
No, you really don't. Somebody asked if your ear was misplaced.
Yeah, I'm waiting for food. But I genuinely do find this interesting because you won't believe this. I do actually know a little bit of shit about this. Probably more shit than I should. I understand all these things. So I do find it fascinating when B tells me about the thing that she's living in. I just find it terribly fascinating. I really do.
Maya, let me just say that, first of all, that's a hilarious comment. Kitty didn't see it. Maya said, "Calm down, Randolph. I'm just fucking with you because I'm bored," to me. anyways, first of all, let me say that's hilarious. Second of all, I know way more about building than Randolph is because he's a novice. Although I gotta say, I mean, honestly, for what he has done, for the fact that he walked in that with very, very little knowledge, it's amazing how well he's building that. Like, he is on point, and he's taking his time and doing it right, which is great. So,
yeah, I would not believe that Randolph had not had some previous experience.
No, he really hasn't.
Except for what he's doing there.
Yeah, he just did like reading and, measured everything out, and he did everything right. And that's why it's taken him so long, because between his busy life and everything he's doing on YouTube and family and everything else, he only has so much time to work on it. But yeah, when I started talking to him about it, and I was like, it's looking really good. And he goes, I'm just learning as I'm going here. And I was like, oh, well, shit, it looks great then. Shade Throne. Okay, Susan, I see it. Home Depot Queen. Yes, actually, in the gay community, we call it the Homo Depot because it is where the lesbians go. It's like IKEA. Yeah. And where I used to live in Ohio, it was Menards. Homo Depot and Menards. You can always find Menards is awesome. Isn't it purple? Oh, yep. I wish I had one over here. I miss Menards. Absolutely. Two things I miss about Ohio: Menards and my child. Otherwise, I don't care.
The only redeeming thing about Ohio is it's the only state that has both Menards and Wegmans.
Yes, that's true. That's true. They also have the old Andersons. Actually, they shut one of those down. Yes, lesbian IKEA, Maya. Absolutely. Lesbians love to shop at IKEA and the Container Store. It's IKEA, the Container Store, Menards, and Homo Depot.
Yep.
And that's where you'll find all the lesbians in Columbus, Ohio. Friendly hint.
What makes Menards and the Wegmans Grocery both such good companies is that they are both family owned. They're not corporate stores, so they actually treat the employees decently.
Yep. That's absolutely the truth. And they have really good prices on stuff. Like, they don't gouge people and shit. Everything you find in Menards will be cheaper than Home Depot and Lowe's, and half of it will be better quality.
Yep.
That's cheaper, yeah. Like, they carry everything. They even have like a little food section in Menards. You can literally go to Menards, get all your tools. You can buy a lawnmower. You can fit out your garage. You can decorate your house, and you can buy a small amount of food and snacks and stuff if you're really hungry. And they even have a big pet section. Like, Menards is great. Fucking love Menards. Maya, the Container Store is a place where literally you can buy anything to store anything. And they call it the Container Store. You should look it up online. It's actually, they have really cool shit there. Some of it's ungodly expensive, but I can say that the quality is really good. And it will last. So it's probably worth it. Yes, Anjur. Hello, Anjur. Thank you for coming. And Shan. Kitty Ellinger said, Maya, the Container Store is a porn shop for organizers. Yeah. In the UK, it's B&Q, a direct ripoff of the Home Depot. Really? I didn't know that. Did not know. Why is it Home Deep Throat? What are you going for there, Shan?
Well, I was going to say that it isn't just the lesbians that it's called Homo Depot for other reasons.
It's true.
There actually had been getting a reputation of gay men hooking up in the bathrooms there.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, the lesbian community started that like a long time ago,
so I don't know if it's anything recent, but...
Oh, okay. I wouldn't doubt it. I could tell you one thing, the Home Depot here, I have one complaint about the Home Depot here, because it's reasonably priced. Actually, which is what's weird about here, is Home Depot and Lowe's have the same prices. And I've never seen that before. Lowe's is always more expensive. But here, they're exactly the same, like within 20 cents on an item or 10 cents or something like that. Instead of like you're paying $1.50 more for a doorknob, it's like 10 cents more at Lowe's. It's so weird. But every time I go in Home Depot here, and every time I go to the bathroom, it smells like somebody just walked in the women's room and like took the biggest dump in the world. And it always smells like that. So I don't know if it's they have a sewage problem or I just have bad timing. I don't know which one. You walk in there, like I leave my mask on while I'm in there because I'm like, oh, it's so gross. I'm going to puke, but I really got to piss.
If it's a recurring thing, that sounds like they've got a problem with their plumbing.
Yeah, they might. Whew, it's horrible. Oh my God. Sometimes I wonder if it's a plumbing issue and we're smelling the stuff coming from the guy's room. Because, you know, there's predominantly more men in any given big hardware store like that. That's just how it is. You know, you got all the construction
it sounds to me
workers
more
and shit.
like it's something with their drain pipes that the sewer gas is coming back up.
Yeah, it's probably bad. They probably have a clogged vent or something. But my point is every time I go in the bathroom in there's nobody in the bathroom, the women's, but the men's, there'll be like all these guys coming in and out.
Yeah.
So I always wonder if the smell's coming from next door. Yes, Anjur, we also have that problem at Home Depot and Lowe's here. There are people everywhere working, but you ask them questions and they have no fucking clue what you're talking about. And you describe stuff to them and you tell them the name of it and they're like, oh, they don't even know where everything is and anything is. I mean, anything you ask them, they have no clue. They will look it up on their phone online because it tells them the aisle number and the bay number. And then they'll tell you what it is. That's it. That's what you get for customer service.
Yeah. Home Depot does not give their employees any training at all.
Oh, yeah, I would believe that.
Yeah, so that's why the people don't know anything about where anything is in the store. You know, basically they just, you know, they give them the shirt and you go to work. That's it.
Wow. We have a store called B&M here in the UK. Oh, wait a minute. I got to move my stuff over so I can read that.
Never trust
Here
the
it
people
is.
inside Shop B because when they talk about the UK, they're lying.
And there was a story in news that someone took a BM and B&M a few years ago. That's pretty good, buddy. It's pretty good. So glad I gave you a wrench. It was totally worth it. It's like Ron Swanson walking in the hardware store. Hi, got a project you're working on? I know more than you. Yes. It's actually like that. Richard and I will go to the Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff together, or Ace Hardware or wherever, and somebody will be looking for something and they'll go to ask somebody and the guy's like, hold on, let me find out. And he walks away. And Richard's always like, dude, let me help you find that. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I've
done that in Home Depot.
Oh yeah. So he'll help people. Yeah. He does it all the time.
Yeah. It's like, I can get you there a lot quicker than any of the employees can.
Right. Exactly. Purple. You and he would get along good in that department. What did Maya just say? I missed that. My husband refused to let any unanswered questions stay unanswered. He'll walk people over to the aisle and give them the history of the product along the way.
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out why Candace is licking Junie.
So I have a friend that works at Lowe's, and this is
whatever they want to do
in Washington State, and he's on the spectrum. And not only do they let him do like half days, because it works better for him, and you know, better for them because he's more productive for like the half day, but like he knows exactly what he's talking about, like in the department that he works in. And he said that at least at his location, they have actually, you know, they actually do put people in the department where they know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's good.
So that's in like the Seattle area.
Yeah, Anjur said, I live in Washington State.
This is like a really sweet Christmas movie. Because
well,
if you've noticed what Kitty does, she mutes herself, and yet she bends over while she's eating and doesn't stop the camera. So I can see all the jiggles. Just saying.
Still, it's because you're staring at them.
I can't
Back
stop
about
it.
20 years ago when Builder Square existed, they were actually good. Builder Square was actually owned by Kmart.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But
That was a contractor's paradise.
I
It
actually
was,
like going
man.
there because they actually made a habit of hiring retired tradesmen. So you really found people not only who knew where the stuff was, but could tell you the proper use of it.
That's how it should be. That's exactly what they should do. If I see an old guy that looks like he's got big rough hands and he's worked his whole life and he has one of their whatever store's clothes on, I grab that dude. Yep. He is most likely to know what he's talking about. Go ahead, Kitty.
Okay. So when I was a kid, we had a cat, and her name was Binks. She was a solid black cat. She's named after Thackeray Binks from Hocus Pocus. Any 90s kids out there will know. 80s, 90s kids. But she was actually abandoned in a box in Builder Square parking lot. And my parents found her, and then they start looking under the cars thinking, well, usually there's more than one kitten, in a litter. So they're looking for other cats. 5 or 6 people start looking with my parents, never asking what the fuck they were looking for, just looking under the cars. And so she was the only cat they found, brought her home. And we had
if the other people
15
didn't ask
years.
what they were looking for, how would they know if they found it?
Exactly.
They were just so damn nice. They were like, if I see something weird, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're looking for. Baseball cap? No? Okay, I'll keep going. Yeah, Builder Square was the shit. I did forget about Builder Square. There's still some little places, like when I was in Ohio, there was some mom and pop kind of yard places where you could go and get all the odd size lumber and the shit that was 20 feet long and all that stuff. And you could, the inside store was just full of weird shit you couldn't find anywhere else. I love those. I used to go to places like that all the time.
Menards carries the long stuff.
Yes, they do.
The Menards, by me at least, they stock stuff up to 24 feet.
Yep, Menards will stock. They literally have everything on hand between 2 feet purple it goes down to?
Yeah.
I want to say it's 2 foot. Yeah, from 2 foot all the way to 24. In every size and dimension, every width, every thickness of every kind of wood. It's amazing. I love that place. And the layout with the stairs, purple, where you go upstairs to get the different sizes. That's just awesome. It's such a space saver. They put 3 times as much stuff in one section.
I also love all the stuff that they give away free on rebates.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, Menards is where I get most of my clothes because the jeans I like, they've got usually for $15, and then sometimes they'll have them on rebate, and I can get them $10.
Yeah, the old mill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they give me free T-shirts by the cartload.
I might have just heard B accidentally admit to liking to go and find a store that sells thick wood.
Hey, Stool, I have said it before on this stream, and I will say it again. I'm one of the lesbians that loves wood, but I also like to cut it with circular saws. So
I so want to clip that audio. That's awesome.
I love the smell of wood being cut in the morning. I love to hear it and smell it. It's actually true, but I'm talking about actual wood and you are not. So please rise for the Midwest Regional Anthem plays Menards Jingle.
That's what I was laughing at. Yep.
Thank you, Judy. That was great.
Save big money when you shop
Menards.
Well, the other cool thing was all the stuff that they give away on rebate. When I was up in Michigan, we held a yard sale, and I put out a mess of the stuff I got free on these big tables and, all the saw blades and miscellaneous stuff that they were selling. And I made about $200 reselling the stuff I got for free.
I have literally, for my tiny home, I did almost all my shopping at Menards. The only time I went somewhere else is when Menards did not carry it or sell it online. Like they literally did not carry the product. And then I would go to like Home Depot. So while I was building this place, I had to go to Home Depot twice. And it was for something really weird that no one carries. And Home Depot just had to happen to have exactly how many I needed in stock. But otherwise, everything in here came out of Menards. Like all the wood and everything, I even went to the mismatch paint. And that's where I got these two colors of paint at. This was in the mismatch pile. I paid like $5 for each gallon.
Yep. And I've talked about how I did this whole built-in thing. Yep. That's my entertainment center, storage unit, and all, and my desk. Yeah. That it's along one 16-foot wall, and then it turns, and then it's got the desk. And all the shorter boards in that. Menards kept doing the rebates on the 4-foot shelving boards for 99 cents each.
Oh, that's great.
And that's most of what made this up. So the only thing that I really had to pay anything near the normal price for was the 5-6-foot uprights. The rest of the boards were all 99 cents each.
That's great. Yeah, I used to do that rebate thing with them too. I've always done that. Even my ex from a couple of years ago, her and I used to go to Menards, and her and I would keep track of the rebates and we'd pull them with us at the store, and we'd get home and staple them together so we didn't lose them. And then we'd send them all at once, right at the end of the period, like, okay, now you can do it. Send them in now. And then we get like a check. But on this place right here doing rebates, I think I saved, oh my God, probably like $500 between the sales and rebates easy.
Oh yeah. I'm sure I was getting, probably on average like $100 a month back on rebates, especially when I was doing that work professionally, because picking up the stuff even for the jobs and for other people's houses.
Yeah, that's great. That's one of the reasons that the construction guys, because you'll go in there and go to check out, and there's construction guys lined up in front of that customer service desk pulling all those rebates out because they're going to clean up on that shit, Hell yeah, why not?
Okay, so this is the unfinished, like, raw edge on this side.
Right.
And then here on the other side, I just finished the edge on it. So it's basically just a blind hem. So when you run it through the serger, you fold it and you go in like this so that then it pops open and you see almost nothing for stitching on one side. And then you can see the clean serged edge, and you've got your nice little hem.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yep.
Thing.
Yeah, I like that you did it wider. I would have done the same thing if I was a sewing person. What you reading over there, Swede? You look like you concentrating on something.
I'm playing a game.
Oh, I thought maybe you were shopping at Menards online.
I got to find the manual for my serger because I can't even figure out how to rethread it.
No, I got everything finally for my final build, all my little RGB lights and everything for my computer.
Nice.
So I'm putting it through its paces through several games that tax the system pretty hard.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Susan says, "Oh, is this the sweater Kitty's making for her sister?" Would you like to answer that, Kitty?
I already gave her that sweater because that was before I got the serger, and honestly, I wish that I could remake it with the serger because it would have come out even better. This is one I'm actually making for myself out of fabric I got from the Walmart bargain bin, and I got 4 yards of this like really soft, like stretch knit fabric for $4. So can't beat that.
Nope. Swede, what are you using as benchmark games? Cadence wants to know.
Crisis, Path of Exile for particle effects, and then I'll use Counter-Strike later.
You could use Warframe, like some of the particle effects on that.
No, the particle effects on Path of Exile are so intense that you can actually short out some of the new Intel chips with it.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. It's nuts how much this Warframe doesn't tax the system at all. That game is so optimized that
That's true.
This game is so poorly optimized that it actually puts your system through the pace.
Yeah, no, DE does do a really good job of optimizing Warframe for people.
Yeah. Right now I'm getting upwards of 330 frames a second, so not too shabby.
What's
Definitely
what's ideal?
Ideal is anything above 60.
Oh, well then I think that sounds pretty good then.
Yeah. Some of the more intense scenes in this you can get drops into the hundreds, but yep, not too shabby.
I mean, the human eye can't even perceive like 300 frames a second, like to its max. Like, doesn't the human eye like cap out?
You actually can perceive it. You can perceive the difference between the bigger the difference, the more you can perceive it. So 30 to 60 is a huge jump. 60 to 90, you can still tell, but it's not quite as much. 90 into the 150-ish, you can kind of see it. And then from there on, it gets really hard to be able to distinguish it. But from the big is from like 30 to 90.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I know. I've played games like at 30 or less, and it's painful.
It's jaggy as hell.
Yeah, it's not fun.
30 is what I like to tell people is, when you have the ESPN crawler on the bottom of the screen and you see it like jump, that's 30.
Oh, really?
That's 30. Now, when you watch it go completely smooth, that's 60. So you can tell when your TV actually has a drop in its refresh rate. So TVs will normally be 60 to 120 hertz refresh, but if it drops to 30, that's when you see the little it jags just a little bit on the bottom, and that's when you can tell the frame rate loss.
Susan says, but the human brain can't process more than 60 FPS.
Yeah, it can.
Okay. Susan, come up and argue that if you want. Geo Sam wants to know what GPU and CPU you're rocking.
Oh no, she was being sarcastic because that's a people say that all the time who don't know what they're talking about in this little world that we live in.
Well, I don't know anything about it. I was just repeating what I saw.
Yeah, the /S is sarcasm. So if you see at the end of her comment, it's /S. That means she's being sarcastic.
Oh, yeah, I don't speak slang.
Well, in that case,
Internet.
/S should be my Twitter handle.
Yeah, right? I'm being sarcastic all the time. That would be appropriate for you, Purple.
Well, I don't think anybody should try to have a discussion on Twitter anyway, so.
Cadence says, Kitty, human eye caps out at 30 FPS relatively, but screen FPS and eye FPS aren't synced. So even if your eye/brain drops frames, you'll perceive it as smooth. Thank you, Cadence. I hope that's correct. I don't know. I'm just reading shit.
Well, as far as seeing it as smooth, that's actually the only reason that the old movies worked. Because they were actually separate frames, but your brain tries to fill in the middle to smooth it out.
Right. There you go. Purple /S. The way Maya wrote it. I like that.
Yeah, you can definitely tell if there's a drop in frames.
Yeah.
Especially below 60.
Young boys who have never seen a bosom obsess about FPS. Is that why you're over there talking about it in the chat stool? Ha, 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 ha.
I would argue above 60, you can tell.
I have to get Cadence in here and Susan. Everybody come in here and talk about FPS. Come on. Let's all debate the human eye. I'm good with it. I'm just here to bullshit. Talk about whatever you want.
Well, you know, it could vary with different people too. And something, and I think it's related to autism from what I've heard from other people, but that, you know, autistics in general are sensitive to the old fluorescent light fixtures. And that's because to people with autism, the flicker of the light fixtures was perceivable even when they were working correctly. And that was cycling at the 60 cycles per second of the AC current.
Oh.
And that's why people with autism would tend to get headaches from them, because it wasn't being a steady light. They were noticing a flicker.
I can notice a flicker even when they're working properly, but as far as I know, I am not on the spectrum.
Yeah, well, no, I'm sure that there are other people who can too, but it's something that was particularly noted with autistics.
I would like to say though, like Cadence, it would be lovely to have your smexy demon arse in here. Just saying. Like, I have not been on a stream with you in years. It was, I think, like a GE like hangout, not even like a stream, was the last time like that we were in a chat together. So it would be awesome to have you in here. That is all.
Maya said, I have fluorescent light sensitivity, can't be under them for more than 4 hours. Oh, and she said, uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, the newer ones got better because they'd replaced them with the electronic ballast. And the electronic ballast cycled at something like 50,000 cycles instead of the 60. So, you know, it's just orders of magnitude faster. But fortunately, now everything's going to LEDs, and we probably won't be seeing fluorescent lights around much anymore.
Good,
that's true.
Throwing those away was annoying.
That was one of the problems, was the disposal.
Yeah, well, boy, when they break, they explode.
Yep.
They're actually very dangerous.
Yep.
I see guys like in construction sites just tossing around a box of fluorescent light. I actually saw that in the last construction site I was on. And I was like, holy dude, what are you doing? And they're like, what? That end of that box is open and they're hanging out. You do realize that if you toss that against a wall, those can shatter and they will explode, and everyone that's looking in that direction will have glass in their eye, right?
Yep.
Because they will pop. I've thrown one in a dumpster before, I know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll have shards of glass flying quite some distance. And it's not actually even shards of glass. It gets down real fine. It's little splinters. A lot of them you won't even see, but you'll feel them in your skin.
Yep, that's absolutely right. Those little fine glass, boy, those are vicious too. Maya said, I haven't met a fluorescent light that didn't give me fits. I had to take the lights in my office out. The employees hate it, but that works for me. Yeah, fuck the employees, right? Your office, your rules.
Yeah, I replaced all of mine with the LEDs, even when I was paying $10 a bulb for the LEDs.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't like them. I paid $10 for my light bulb, but it also has a remote control and does 8 different colors and 4 different brightnesses.
Well, yeah.
And
yeah, now you got all those fancy stuff.
And it's one of those little freaking LEDs. So you know the damn thing's going to last like 10 years before it, maybe 20. I don't know. Depends on how much I turn it on and off, I guess. Ooh, Jenny's back. Hi,
hey, Jenny.
Hi. I'm sorry. I had to go. My dear nephew Justin called. I was expecting his call. I didn't think it was going to happen this early in the evening.
Oh, that's okay.
But he's the only other sane person in my family.
Aw.
Okay.
No, that's fine. Family always comes first, baby. Fuck you, too.
Wait a minute. The late Jenny, have you died and nobody told me yet?
No, I was just late today. It's the other late.
Are you pregnant again?
No, but I'm fucked most days.
Okay.
Well, you heard about the secretary who thought her typewriter was pregnant because it missed a period.
But
Aw, Junie said, the late Jenny, if I ever have to see that, I'd be sad.
I hate you, Perk. Like,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got somebody in that hasn't been on my channel before. No, I think one time. One time, Cadence, you came by.
I've been on your channel before. Hello.
But it was just once, wasn't it?
Pet.
See, I get confused when I talk to people on other people's channels and versus mine. I forgot whose channel I was on.
I love Cadence.
Honestly.
Avatar. I think it's cute.
I know, it's
Cadence
cute.
is my right-hand bitch down in hell, man. Like, I have a cage for her set up right by my throne, and she gets to dish out, you know, the fiery wrath of me, and she's a very good demoness. Best demoness in hell.
Of course.
Well, I don't think I've ever been in a stream with Canes before.
A stream of Cain?
I've been in the side chat with her in a couple of different channels, but
I met Cadence because we're both longtime fans and supporters of Godless Engineer. That's actually how she and I met.
I would suggest that you never join anybody's stream ever. It's terribly distracting when you're trying to do things. And
you'll get over it.
You can't see what I'm seeing on my screen, but Kitty, please, come on. Come on, it's cruel.
It's
said
not
the
Kitty's fault, and she's not wearing turtlenecks for you.
I know.
Kitty, are you flashing booby again?
I mean,
no, actually,
I'm
she's
covered.
pretty covered up for Kitty.
Yeah, Stool's just complaining because she jiggles when she moves around.
Well, that's because he's a pervert. But anyways, the point is that Ox said we can get the community together and get Stool a plane ticket to go visit Jenny.
What? Huh?
That's what Ox said. He wants to get the community together to get a plane ticket for Stool to come visit you.
No, that's not going to happen.
No. Hey, Jen. Jen.
But you guys are besties.
Jen.
It doesn't mean I want him in my house.
Listen, hey, I'm with Jen on this one. I'm totally with Jen on this one. Fuck off. Whoever suggested that can fuck off.
No, I think it would be great if all of us could get together and party down for a weekend or something like that. Just not at my house.
Yep.
I was thinking we could do like Faithless Forum one year. It's in Texas, so it's pretty central in the U.S. So it would be less of a burden for everybody, you know, to get to a central point. Because, like, you know, coming to Florida would really suck for the people in California and the Midwest. And, you know, same thing with going to, like, New York or Washington State. Like, if you go from more, like, central U.S. and Faithless Forum is, you know, a relatively new atheist convention. It only started a few years ago. And it's in Texas. And like I said, that's pretty centrally located for everybody to be able to visit without it being too bad.
I would advocate that we take it to a state that isn't based on hate. I mean, every one of us is a target of something that they're doing in Texas.
No, I understand that. I'm just trying to think like logistics of it, you know?
Well, I think logistics should take a back seat to.
Well, although the people down there keep saying that, you know, Austin is really not like the rest of Texas.
Yeah,
it's not. It's Portland.
The Portland-Austin war.
Well, it's sounding it's sounding a lot like Texas is at the same point as a lot of other states, that the cities are blue, the rural areas are red.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting close to the tipping point.
Yes.
No, Texas will turn blue within the next couple of election cycles, I believe.
It can't happen soon enough, though.
This
No,
is
absolutely.
a redistricting year.
Yeah.
The Republicans are in control again.
Hey,
That
Sweet
Yeah,
Geo
and
wants
that's
to
part
know
of the
what that
problem with
CPU and
Texas.
GPU was again. He forgot or something, or he missed it.
A Ryzen 7 5800 and a 1070 that I'm still rocking because GPUs are, fucking possible to find right now.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a
Carry
Ryzen
on,
5 in my computer, and I have I think a 2060 RTX. I even if I wanted to upgrade my GPU, like it's not happening. Fucking retail price is $400, but they're bought up within seconds by bots from scalpers, and they want $1,200 for a $400 GPU.
You know what a 5-year-old refurbished 1080 Ti goes for? $1,500. That's
It's
a
insane.
used.
I'll stick with my 2060 RTX. It's plenty.
Yeah, I've got my 2060 RTX. That's the exact same one I have. See? We're twinsies.
There's a lot of social and political scorn coming down on these Bitcoin miners because of what they've done to computer parts prices and how much they pollute just by having their operation going. People are really starting to stand up and say, this has to stop. This is just insane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the NVIDIA may have the answer for that with their low hash rate. So they're coming, the 30, 60, 70, and 80 are all going to have LHR options or LHR where low hash rate.
Are you outside?
So that fights against the the miners buying them
Cheers.
up.
I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, how does that keep the miners from using them?
Cuts the hash rate in half. So the profitability of those cards is going to be near zero.
Okay, I don't know what the hash rate is, so I don't know how that affects anything.
The hash rate is how fast you're mining.
So but how does it affect the miners without it affecting other things running on it?
If it takes twice to 4 to 5 times as long to mine a single coin, the amount of electricity you're using eats up all the cost.
Yeah.
Or eats up all the profit.
But that isn't going to affect them for other people using the chips, for other things?
Nope, because it's attached to direct mining activity. So the card can actually tell if it's mining or not.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And the other point is miners really aren't the biggest problem. So even though the LHR cards are going to come out, it's still not even close to solving the problem because there's so many other issues going on right now.
Like what?
Well, TSMC has a water reservoir in Taiwan that needs to get filled up, but it hasn't rained there, and rainy season's supposed to be starting. So they can't cool their plant, so they have to run at 70-80% efficiency right now. Their new plant in Arizona won't go up until 2023. There is the general shortage of NVIDIA availability for platters. There is the 30 series alone was a big reason why people wanted to upgrade. So demand has spiked because the 30 series was an actual upgrade over the 1080s. 1080 Ti.
Is this then the same shortage that's like affecting General Motors?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Sweet, what's that game you're playing?
Path of Exile.
Path of Exile, Ox.
It's free to play, which is a price that a lot of people like.
Oh,
And there is
RPG?
zero pay
I
to win
assume.
in any of this.
Really?
Yep. It's all
Path?
cosmetic. The only thing you can buy are cosmetic things.
So Path of Exile?
Yep.
What you called it? Okay.
It's
have to check
basically
that out.
Warframe. Digital Extremes is the company that did Warframe, and it's a passion project for them. So like they listen to the community. They're fantastic. It's also a free to play game that there's no pay to win. Like, I mean, there's not a lot of PvP in it either. I mean, there's
What
a
is
little
that?
bit player versus player where you're fighting against other
Oh,
people. It's
PvP.
mostly, yeah, it's
Oh, I thought you
mostly
said
cooperative stuff.
CBT, and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
No. Oh, sorry. PvP.
No,
But no, with Warframe, you basically control these different like kind of like mech suit type things, and then you like run and gun doing missions on different planets, and it's actually a really awesome story. And like there's one quest line that it made me cry. I don't know if anyone else has played it, but there's a Warframe called Harrow, and when you do the quest to unlock to basically get that Warframe, like it devastated me. Like going through, like it got me right in the feels. I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, there's a lot of story and a lot of heart in that game, and it's free, and the only thing you pay for is, you know, cosmetics essentially, or if you want to unlock something faster. So it's like, you know, but there's also an in-game marketplace where you can literally go and farm something and then trade it to other people for the paid currency that, you know, you would use to buy like upgrades, like where you can have more Warframe slots, or where you can fast track something, or basically just say, you know what, I want this Warframe, but I don't want to spend hours farming it, so I'm just going to buy this Warframe. But there's nothing in the game aside from cosmetics that you cannot just earn through playing. The money part just speeds it up. Or gives you like pretty shiny things.
I'll be right back.
Okay, honey. Junie.
Yay, I'm in it.
How you doing, sweetheart?
Very happy to be here. How's everybody?
Good,
and hello, Cadence.
Good. Cadence, meet Junie. Meet Cadence. Both amazing people.
Cute avatar.
You probably both get along great. I didn't even know you two didn't know each other. That blows my mind because you're both kind of so similar, you know?
I've been her in side chats and been in chat while she's been on stream, but other than that, no.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much on side chats.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Now you guys can talk. Everybody talk. What have you been up to, Cadence? Anything fun, new?
No, not really.
Not really.
No. I've been playing with a lot of Lego sets recently. I guess that's a different thing.
Yay!
Legos are fun. I don't care how old you are. They're fun.
I haven't had any in like a decade. And then all of a sudden I picked up a set because I was bored to play with it, to put it together. And I got addicted again. So I have like tons of them behind me.
Right. It's that creative thing. I do that sometimes. Like I'll be totally uncreative for months and I don't do anything. And then all of a sudden I'll like, oh, I want to do this. And I make it some big, huge project and, you know, and then I got to rush to do it because I want to get it done so bad. It's ridiculous. So
I've been finding bags of Lego at the thrift store again. So that's the best way because I get them a lot cheaper. And all I want is the random parts anyway. I don't really care what the set was supposed to build.
I've been doing
I've
been doing my best to not open all my sets all at once and put them together. I'm trying to space it out so I have something to do. But one thing I actually discovered today is there's an archive of Lego bricks that you can download to 3D print. And I have a 3D printer.
Oh,
shut up.
So
wait a minute. You can 3D print Lego elements?
Yes.
Fucking awesome.
Not officially. Not officially.
What? No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Well, no, I'm just thinking of the potential because you know, there are some rare parts that, like, you try to buy them on Bricklink or something, and you're paying like, you know, $20 for a single piece.
The site, let's see if I could find it.
Or $800 for the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, printablebricks.com to download the STLs to print them.
Yeah, well, I don't have access to a 3D printer, so it doesn't really help me unless somebody can print the parts out for me.
Well, if I had one, I'd be glad to do it, but I don't.
Yeah.
Is the like the material for the 3D printer really expensive as the printer?
A full-size roll of filament will last you a long time, and it's probably 20 to 30 depending on what you get, like with colors and properties. So like your basic roll will cost like get a basic roll of black from Amazon for like $25.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing now.
A lot in the last 4 years. I went into an electronics store like I think it was almost 4 years ago now, and I saw the stuff for sale, and oh my God, I was like, look how expensive that is. I mean, it's dropped a lot in 4 years.
Yeah, but these days it seems once you invest in the equipment, the actual individual pieces are fairly cheap.
How good of a 3D printer would you have to get the resolution you need for something like that?
My $300 Ender 3 Pro, or Ender 3, I think, is perfect for it.
Wow, $300. Jeez.
Yeah. The thing about,
for
getting the resolution, like to get it down, you have to tune the printer. So you have to spend some time to make sure it's aligned and balanced, and get your plate level, and then make sure the filament you get has a quality to it. Like, don't get the cheap stuff. If you get the normal stuff, then you can get the resolution down to have, you know, display quality stuff.
Okay, with the $300 printer, how big of a piece can you make with that?
I think I've got a 300 by 300 by 400 millimeter space.
Wow.
Oh, that's pretty big.
That is pretty big.
Yeah, well, 300 millimeters, about a foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's large for printing space. Yeah.
It's not bad for $300 either.
No.
I didn't realize the printers had come down that much in cost either.
Yeah,
the last time I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, for real. Although I don't know if you can use a 3D scanner to use with a 3D printer as well.
I've thought about it, but I haven't got anything to do it yet.
I definitely know that I have heard people who have been working on, and this is a few years old, so it may already be resolved, but they were working on taking 3D scans and being able to convert them to an STL.
Oh yeah, that's been a thing for a while.
Yep.
The difficult part is the post processing. So, you know, once you get the 3D image in there, it's the converting it to a usable 3D file for printing. Because there's a difference between like an STL file that you can print and just a 3D file. So it's got to have a structure that a CNC machine can read.
Ox just wrote something. It makes me want to ask the chat and everybody on the panel. Everybody who has who's fluent in 3D and experienced, raise your hand.
My hand's raised.
You can't see it, but it's in the air.
Okay, so you're the only one on the panel.
I guess the only one
3D modeling.
I'm sorry, I heard two people.
Oh, sorry. I said like you asked 3D modeling, or
no 3D printers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Probably Cadence is the only one.
Probably.
Yep.
And it's my second 3D printer too.
Oh, dang.
What are people in the chat saying?
The only 3D that I know is if I were doing layering with my Cricut machine, because that it deals with SVG files where it's just basically slices of things. So then you stack them on top of each other, and then once you've got the last layer on there, you'll see your finished design. But it looks a little disjointed, and like you're just making a little sandwich when doing it with that. That's the only 3D I have other than sewing.
The funny thing, Kitty, is the 3D printer works about the same way, but it's the layers stacked on top of each other. So instead of printing a layer, then printing another layer, and then printing another layer, it just moves the Z-axis up and then prints the next layer.
Yep. Jenny Ox said, I just started studying the workings of 3D printing.
Oh, okay. It's amazing. They've been around for a time, but it wasn't all that long ago where virtually nobody knew a thing about them, and now they've come down in price so much, and there's kids who own them, and it's just amazing. I've always wanted one.
I want one too.
When I was still working, I designed a couple of. Design makes it sound like it's an original concept. I drew duplicates for STL files of some car parts, interior car parts that you could not get anymore for some 50, 60-year-old cars, and had them 3D printed, and they worked out absolutely fucking perfect. It was like, wow, look at how cool this is. Oh,
yeah, it's amazing what you can do with a 3D printer.
Yeah, even to address something Geo Sam said about wanting the printed Viking figures and stuff, it's 3D printer, or some of the communities I've seen for 3D printing involve like making D&D miniatures and like Warhammer and tabletop gaming miniatures to include the terrain, like modular terrain and everything like that for it. It's a huge scene.
Oh yeah, I've seen some people posting pictures on Twitter of RPG figures that they've been printing out.
We did one thing on one of the parts I put together. It was a part you don't even see when it's an interior part for a thermostatically controlled air passage that feeds the carburetor in the winter. So nobody ever sees the part. It's got a hex head on it so that it's adjustable on initial installation. It has a hex nut in the center of it on the top, and of course, the 3D printer can't do a metal. It can't do a metal nut, but we were able to make a nest for that screw, that brass screw or brass nut, a 0.5 millimeter shy of what it should be, and then we heated the nut and melted it into the plastic. It's a permanent set.
Nice.
Well, and that's what I'd like a 3D printer for. Is I get all sorts of things that I'm trying to build, and I need one custom part for.
And you and I were talking about that, Purple, like 3 weeks ago or something, weren't we? About I guess it was longer than that. We were talking about building different things like your entertainment center, and then wanting like special knobs or special. Yeah. Clips to support it on the inside, and
I've even seen people printing out machine parts, like printing out gear drives and that on 3D printers that work.
Yeah, see,
that's amazing.
I've printed replacement parts. Like one of my little hobbies is actually taking vintage radios and cleaning them up and getting them working and stuff like that. If we were missing like volume sliders and knobs and stuff like that,
I do that too, Cadence.
Yeah. So I had an old Radio Shack one that the slider was missing, but the other one existed, the smaller one, and I knew what the dimensions. So I opened up a CAD program, took some measurements, made a few iterations of the prints, and it's got a new button on it.
Wow.
So, I have a friend that 3D printed a couple of things for me. This is like a little wax seal, and it's got a little like snake, like Slytherin, because I'm a Slytherin. I'm sure some 90s kids will recognize this.
Yep.
What is
the Orin? It's the Orin. it would normally be one snake silver, the other one gold. It's from the Neverending Story. And then I'm sure some of my gamers will recognize this.
I don't know what that is.
It's Geralt's Witcher medallion.
That looked like a mech warrior.
Yeah, no, it's from the game The Witcher.
Wow, that's
nice.
Geralt's medallion.
It's good.
Okay.
I like printing out like game replicas and stuff like that too. The latest, well, the Cyberpunk 2077 game that come out, there's a weapon in there called Skippy, and if you've played it, you know Skippy, and if you don't, it's amusing. And I'm not going to spoil it, but I printed a full-size replica of it and actually painted it to match with all the lettering and the weathering and everything like that on it too. I've got that displayed behind me somewhere.
It's called Skippy?
It's called Skippy.
Oh, Skippy was fucking hilarious.
I've got a Skippy replica behind me that are printed out.
Oh, here you go. For anybody's interested, Jenny or Purple or whoever, Ox says, I've been watching a guy on YouTube that's cool. Geek Toolkit.
Yeah, I've seen that channel.
On 3D printers. Okay.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, I've
Come up
also...
with something new, Ox. Everybody's seen that.
Good. I got to be a moderator. There's so much cool stuff out there.
The Sloth Girl likes to watch some channels of some people that are, restoring classic toys, like Tonka trucks from the 60s and things like that.
Oh,
I've seen some channels that do that. That's really cool.
And one of those, the guy's got a 3D printer for making replacement parts.
Nice.
For all the plastic parts that have deteriorated too far to be able to clean them up.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all I will have a 3D printer for, is just to make figures.
There's also... I'm sorry.
I said I've done a lot of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In
I've
fact,
always wanted to play with one, but I wouldn't have room to put one anywhere in here anyway. So
every time I get a new filament, a new color, I make a little dragon statue out of that filament. So I have a ton of them in different colors and different materials.
Oh, what a good idea.
Have you made dinos?
Maybe. I don't remember. I think I have. If not, I've downloaded it.
That's funny.
I'd like to get one, but yeah, I am aware they're not strictly something that you can just get them and just start doing stuff. That there's a learning curve and there's a skill level to them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the second part of what I was going to say. Not only can I not afford it and I don't have room for it, but I don't know shit about programming, computer, nothing. I don't have a clue. So I wouldn't know how to use it.
The first 4 or 5 things I ever printed was upgrades for the printer.
Huh. How funny.
This was one of my first big projects with my Cricut machine. I made Kakashi for a tote bag. Yeah, well, Kakashi is best boy. Like, I have a massive, nerd crush on Kakashi. But I actually binged all of Naruto during this pandemic. Like, I watched Naruto and I watched Shippuden. Like, I still haven't seen Boruto, but it's on my list of shit to do. It's great to have it on while I'm sewing because, it's one of those shows that if you have it on the screen while you're working and you don't have to have your eyes glued to it, every second, especially on, filler episodes and stuff. But if it's really good, I can stop what I'm doing, focus on the show, and then get back to work.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It's a great show for when I'm working. All right.
I know B's not into much the anime, but I love Naruto.
Ox, restoring stuff is just the best damn thing to do. It's so wonderful having.
Yeah, that Rescue and Restore channel is one of the ones that Sloth Girl follows. So sometimes I watch it up there with her.
Yeah, I actually watch and subscribe to a lot of those, like Ticey Tube and My Mechanics, Odd Tinkering, a few of those.
Yeah, and that definitely was one of the things I had in mind with the 3D printer too. That I used to do a lot of trading in the vintage Transformers, and I've still got a couple of bins full of broken ones that if I could make some replacement parts for.
Yeah.
For me and in my career, having gotten into the restoration end of cars towards the end of my career was absolutely the most gratifying thing I've ever done. It's just so goddamn fucking cool taking this horrible piece of junk that you pulled out of a junkyard and make it brand new. There's just nothing like it.
See, I don't have the endurance to do that, even though I've got 3 project cars waiting for me to finish. Most of my stuff like that is for, like I said, vintage radios and like old fountain pens from the 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Oh, that's cool.
Rebuilding those and making them functional to use, because I like to use them too. So just stuff like that. Finding little things to fix.
God, where do you even find pens like that?
Like eBay and different forums and stuff like that. Just doing a lot of searching, like you do most other things.
Right.
And knowing which ones, it's just like anything else. You got to know which ones are worth getting to fix up.
Yeah.
Or some that are just too far gone. Like if you ever wanted to start, you can go to eBay and find like box lots, like estate finds, for fairly cheap, and some of them will have them in there. Just go get a bunch of those and like play with them.
Yeah. I used to love going to estate sales. You could find the coolest shit, like old man, old woman, or old man dies, woman sells everything. She's going in the nursing home because she's old as hell. And you can find, I mean, I know it sounds horrible to go buy stuff from those places, but it helps her. So,
I've never been to one. I don't even know the experience of one.
Oh, it's so cool. Like they'll auction off like guns or whatever, tools, tractors, cars.
Yeah,
they
you never
auction
know
off
what
the
you
house.
find.
Yeah, they'll auction off the land and the house. But you go inside the house and you can walk around and they'll have stuff tagged. Like I went into an estate sale and they said, oh, there's more. I said, do you guys have any tools here by any chance? They said, well, there's some odds and ends stuff in the basement. I went down there and those blue pallets they put the bread on to bring in the store? The guy had a bunch of those, and one of them was just full of bolts and nuts and screws. And I snagged that bitch, and I paid $2.50 or $3 for it.
Nice.
Now, there was some of it that was old and beat up and I couldn't use anymore, but he had it all the different kinds in Velveeta boxes inside of there. So I didn't even have to sort much. And I had bought that, and then it was Christmas like a month later, and my ex bought me one of those turning things with the cups on it. And I sorted them all out in there. She ended up with half of them, but I got all the ones that were for construction and stuff, the big stuff. So, but yeah, it was like $3. And one of those Velveeta things is worth like $7 or $8, you know?
Well, I'll put you in my will for my hardware collection. When I retired.
Oh, yeah, do that.
When I retired, I kept my own hardware because the shops never bought the right stuff for the right quantity. And so I would have my own and use it because I wanted to get the goddamn job done.
Right.
And so I've probably got 1,000 or more brand new metric nuts and bolts.
Yep.
Nice.
And some are not brand new, but they're restored nuts and bolts.
Wow.
That would still pass spec for torqueability and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I had a huge collection of that stuff, but when I moved, I had to limit myself to just a couple of bins of the most common stuff.
The bottom 3 drawers in my toolbox in the garage are nothing but spare parts, bolts, nuts, wires, harnesses. Just
like my furniture for
working on cars when I was at Honda. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's my problem, is that I knew I wasn't going to have a garage or a shop space, so just don't have a place to store all the stuff.
That's why underneath and behind my bed is my garage in my house. That's where most of my tools and everything are stored. And then I have some stuff in my truck that I use more, on a monthly basis, if not a weekly basis. But the stuff back there, I have so much stuff back there. I have like tent, fishing poles, tables, folding and knot for workbenches, totes full of like winter clothes or summer clothes or whatever. God, I have like a miter saw, circular saw, jigsaw. I have so much shit back there. It's pretty full, but I could actually put more in if I wanted to.
This is kind of neat. This is like one of the largest collections of estrogen-based mechanically capable people I've seen at one time.
Hey, I can't work on an engine, but I could build a house. I spent summers working with my dad, who ran his own business and was a general contractor. Like, my dad was an asshole. There would be times we'd be hanging drywall for the ceiling. I'd be standing on top of the ladder like a Greek fucking statue while I'm holding up the sheet of drywall for him to fucking tack in. And he'd be like, all right, I'm going to lunch. I'd be like, fuck you, Dad. Get your ass over here and fucking tack this in. It's heavy.
I was
gonna do the go to lunch show.
I was counting you in the original assessment. Whether or not you do house stuff, sewing is just as much of a mechanical skill as anything any of us have done.
Yeah, I really don't do cars either, but given the materials and a couple of helpers, I can build a house from scratch.
See, I could never do that.
Well, that's fine. You're on fleet maintenance. You keep the vehicles going.
Yes.
Hey, if
when the road crashes, we'll all just get together in a good location, which is probably gonna be where I'm living. Just saying. And then you guys all come down here, and then we'll just build our own community. We all have our own things that we do good.
No,
I can build stuff. Jenny can maintenance all the mechanical tools and everything and vehicles. Stool can stand out front and ward people off, because once they meet him, no one will come in to our community. And then Kitty can do the sewing and fixing of clothes. You know, I can cook and build. I love to cook.
I can do electronic.
I'm actually pretty good.
Work.
But
See,
no,
there we go.
I've already decided that if I ever won the Powerball, like if I won like a couple $100 million, I would literally be buying like a ginormous piece of property somewhere, you know, north of Florida, but not too far north. So I'm thinking, honestly, I don't know. I would check, you know, the political climate of the area, but originally I was thinking somewhere in the mountains. So I might end up having to go out west, you know, but just a giant piece of property, and make sure that like it's fertile, that there's like a lake on the property that we can keep stocked with fish. And I was going to start my own little fucking socialist haven. Like everybody, you know, that I know and care about is welcome, but you got to contribute something, you know, like even if it's something small, like if you're disabled, but you can watch the kids, you could basically, you know, help with like nanny services of just keeping an eye on kids or something minor, you know, like as long as you're doing something, it doesn't have to be like, oh, everybody's got to like work 60 hours a week to keep split.
No, I didn't mean that. No.
Well, no. I didn't say you were. I didn't say you were. I'm just saying, like, in general, as long as you're contributing a little something to the community, like basically whatever you can contribute, whatever. Well,
that's basically how every village worked a couple hundred years ago.
Yes.
I would have my own little village, and there'd be farming, and there'd be fishing, and there would be like, you know, a shop for doing like woodworking. There'd be a smeltery for people that want to do metalworking. Because I actually have a friend that like is learning to do metalworking. Yep. And so like we could even sell things that we make to help bring money into our little like commune, so to speak.
I don't actually do metalworking, but I can build you a blast furnace.
We'll see that's helpful. Nice. But so we can make furniture, we can make clothing, we can make quilts, we could do all kinds of stuff and sell them like the Amish people do, like, and just sell like quality made, you know, stuff, or swords, knives, what have you. Like people love buying shit like that. So like, you know, if you want to learn to sew, then we teach you how to sew, and then you can help with sewing the quilts and stuff. If you want to learn how to build furniture, same deal. You can apprentice under whoever we have that knows how to do it, and then you can contribute doing that. And, you know, we make stuff and have our own little community.
You know, here's a quick fun historical fact is that people, their last names came from whatever their profession was.
Or
so
where
which is
they
why
were
you have
from.
people with the last name of Taylor and
Smith.
blacksmith and
Yeah.
goldsmith and
Smith
Smith.
and Thatcher and yeah.
Exactly.
You mean-
Yep.
you mean
Baker.
My ancestors
Yes.
used to run a morgue.
What's that?
My ancestors used to run a morgue for dead people.
Okay, so your last name would be Corner. I don't know what they called it back then. I don't know. Digger? Is their last name a Digger? There's a Duggar. That might be where they came from. Digging graves.
Yeah, well, that's why last names like Smith are so common, and Miller and Carpenter.
Yes. Yes. Miller, Carpenter. Yeah. That's,
Of course.
what else? God, I can't even think of all of them right. I used to know like 20 of them, and they were all based where I grew up, because my mom transplanted us to West Virginia when I was 4.
Yeah.
Where I grew up, that's what everybody was named. They were all named those things.
And
that
in
would
Europe,
explain-
it really wasn't until like the 13th to 15th century that people started having an unchanging last name.
That would
Iceland
explain
still
one
doesn't.
woman I know. Her name is Mary Pubtart.
Pub tart?
Yeah. Never mind.
Iceland still doesn't have permanent last names.
Wouldn't their last name just be like prostitute or whore?
In Iceland? What?
No,
No.
what Jenny said. I'm calling it what Jenny said.
Oh.
I'm sure if you
anyway.
checked a phone book in one of the larger metro areas, you would find some people with the last name Hooker.
I knew a hooker.
I'm not sure if it would have the
Somebody
same
with the last
meaning
name.
back then, but
Well, no. The pejorative hooker comes from the Civil War general.
Does it have anything to do with fishing?
I had a friend.
that's right. I heard that
a
once.
greasy spoon who used to make a hooker burger.
Just like sideburns, the descriptor of sideburns comes from the General Burnsides.
I actually grew up with a family who had a lot of family in the area we lived in, West Virginia, and their last name was Burnside. Yep.
So General Burnsides had huge chops, and that's where we get the descriptor for sideburns.
I used to know.
There you
I
go.
used to know a gynecologist named Dr. Beaver.
Shut the front door.
I'm not kidding.
See, there you go, B. We're learning history here.
I had an ophthalmologist named Mr. Wolf or Dr. Wolf, and I was like, Wolf? Like a predator?
When
I
I
mean,
was
maybe
a kid,
cougar I might be able to deal with, but not wolf.
when I was a kid, when our regular dentist, Dr. Lurch, went on holiday, I had to see Dr. Frankenstein.
Shut. Don't even. No.
I'm not
Purple.
kidding.
Oh my God, Purple.
If there's
one
an
was
actual
Frankenstein,
doctor-
one was Lurch.
Yep.
Like the Addams
Dr. Lurch
Family
was our
Lurch.
normal family dentist. And when he wasn't available, we had to see Dr. Frankenstein.
Lurch, like the Addams Family. Lurch.
Yep.
Oh God.
Oh, you know what was funny? I saw one time, speaking of funny last names, it was a sign for a law firm, right? And it was like such and such lawyer, blah, 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 blah. And then the name of the law firm was Smith and Cheat. Cheat. Cheat was the guy's last name.
I like the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but this was a real law firm. Like, this wasn't a meme. I drove by it on a road and died laughing. And all I could think was, this is why you guys are still small and in a strip mall. You need to change your fucking name.
Yeah, there have been occasions where you run across people who you really think they needed to change their name before they went into their profession because they don't work real well.
I've known a few businesses that use middle names, like law firms, specifically for that.
Really?
There was a doctor's office that I used to pass in Daytona Beach, where my parents, when we moved from Massachusetts, we had moved to like the Daytona Beach area. And the doctor was Dr. Waba W. Waba. Like, and
What?
I think his middle name was actually Wibba. It was Wabba Wibba Wabba. Like Wabba W Wabba was definitely on the sign for the doctor's office. Yes,
You know, his
WABA.
parents are just mean. His parents are just mean. I see people giving their kids names where it coincides with the last name to make something funny. I see it at work, and I'm like, you seriously did that to your child?
Richard Trickle, the race car driver. He goes by Dick. There is a race car. There was a Dick Trickle. I'm sorry. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're being smart. They think it's funny.
Well, if anybody ever called my son Dick, I'd punch him in the throat.
Yeah, when parents are naming their baby, they have to realize it might be cute as a kid, but they have to consider how this is going to be when the child is 30-something years old and trying to get a job.
And plus going all the way through school and being picked on.
I had a woman friend back in the hippie days whose Italian family, his last name was Fula, F-U-L-A, and they named her April. April Fula.
Okay, and
that's kind of funny.
This is part of why it is taking me a couple of months to decide on a name here. See, I'm considering all these things now.
I bet you are.
I
can't wait to change my name.
Dental license. I want to be able to change my legal name. But I'm thinking maybe Doc Ock or something like that.
Purple, are you going to change surname?
Yeah, I'm not really attached to my surname as it is now, so.
I want a name change. My parents gave me a name that means follower of Christ, and I'm the only anti-theist in the family.
Yep.
So they really missed the mark on that one. I'm thinking either Catherine or Katrina. Those are the two that I'm bouncing between. Is Katrina.
Catherine sounds too much like Karen. You're going to be like white stereotyped.
Yeah. You got to.
I mean, I am glow in the dark. I am so white. So, lean into it.
Yeah, but Katrina's like smart and sexy and funny and cute. Yeah, but Catherine's like, I'm a snoot snob and I can't handle seeing the two gay guys down the road kiss. Like, that's Catherine to me.
Here's how I see it. Catherine's nickname is Kathy. Katrina's nickname would be Kat.
Right. That's why I wanted to go with Katrina.
Honestly, and there's a true story. When I was in elementary school, I was in like 1st or 2nd grade. We had a school play, and it was a musical play where we had to sing the lines. I learned the lines to the entire play. And on the day we were supposed to perform it, I was only supposed to have one line like everybody else, but half the kids in the class didn't show up. So I ended up having to do their parts because I was the only person that knew them. And it was Katrina the butterfly. So my first tattoo actually was of a butterfly that I have on my shoulder. It was a gift from my parents. It was a gift from my parents for my 18th birthday.
Oh, cool. Aw, that was sweet of them. Yeah, that's pretty.
It's blue and purple, which are their favorite colors. My dad's favorite color is blue. My mom's is purple. And then it also kind of has a little bit of bite to it because it's got like little fangy type. Here, turn that light on. It's got little fangs like in the wings,
Hold on. Stay right there.
Purple.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Purple, I'm one of the few people in the community that knows your dead name. Did I ever tell you that you and I share the same first name?
No, you hadn't mentioned that.
Yeah, I've never told anybody my dead name, but now you know it.
There's at least a handful that know my name just from working with the fundraisers.
Okay.
I don't.
So I'm all for you changing that because that's a horrible, awful name.
Just remember, guys, you heard it first here.
Yeah. Well, as a man, it's a serviceable name. There's nothing wrong with it. But although, considering that in our society, so many things are done alphabetically, especially when you're dealing with the government, I was considering it might be an advantage if I changed my last name to Aardvark, so I'll be first in line for everything.
Or Aaron, Aaron.
Yeah, Aronson. That's a legit name too.
Lots of people with the last name Aaron.
Unfortunately, I can't use
Hank?
Aaron. That's already been used in my family.
Oh, well, let's not do that one then.
Also, it's
No,
like
that's tough to
a lot of
decide.
them that I've considered that sound nice. Like Kitty was saying, it's like, you know, I think about one and then I realize it's actually a Bible reference. And no, we don't want that.
Well, that's hard to avoid.
I was once told by a grandma that when you're naming your kid, what you should do is when you pick a name and you want to try it out, you go out the back door and yell it 3 times real loud, like you're calling the kid in from play, and to see how it sounds.
And easy to say. Otherwise, if you're yelling like, I guess 4 to 5 syllables, then it sounds off.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things with picking a name, that if it's something that's got more than 1 syllable, you have to figure a lot of people are going to get lazy, and what kind of a nickname are they going to make out of it?
Yeah. Just don't pick the name Gladys, or you're going to be known as Gladass.
You know that I have one concern with my name. Almost every time I go to fill out something online, it wants 3 letters at least for your first name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
well,
I've
run into that on a lot of things because a lot of them now are requiring at least 6 letters for a nickname when you sign up for something.
6 letters?
Yeah, because I'm still using the Yahoo email that I made like back in '94 or something.
Yeah.
And it's only 5 letters, and it's not letting me use it for a lot of things.
Oh, for like usernames. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They're like have to be like 6 to 15 characters or 8 to 15 characters and a special symbol. And yeah, it's true.
Well, B, what do you do when they want 3?
I don't know because I haven't changed my name yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. I had thought about just keeping my middle initial because I don't really care for my middle name either. I don't identify with either one of them. But I think I'm going to keep my middle initial just so I can use it if I need to. I don't know.
Just put an extra E on the end, so you go from B to D.
Yeah, but then no.
Or an A.
Or maybe an extra B in front.
Put an A.
B.
The same.
B.
Kitty, that is perfect.
I just like it the way it is. I don't want to have to change it.
That's nice. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I like it exactly the way. Like everybody, when I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go by B full time. It's been my nickname for years. Everybody on YouTube's called me it for over a year now. So I just figured, you know what, it just suits me. And then I told my ex, and she said, "Well, I've called you B since we first got together." And I said, "Yeah, I know." Well, it all started all the way back then, like 15 years ago.
Add an A, and then you'd be like Aunt B on
See, but I don't like that. B. Arthur, Aunt B. No, I'm good. I don't identify with that at all.
B. Arthur was a badass.
That's too
her.
girly of a name. It's a girl name.
I never liked B. Arthur. She was such a bitch.
I don't like girl names. If I want girl names, I just keep fucking one I have.
I don't know. I love the Golden Girls.
Yeah. I just think I'm not going to fill anything out online that I don't have to. Fuck them.
But it's done. My oversized, chilling out, like little hoodie thing. Like, I mean, I still need to tack down the seam on this pocket, but honestly, I don't hate it, like poking up the way it is. Like, you can see,
yeah, I can see the edge, but I think it's kind of cute
like
that.
The edge, like along the side here. Like, I was gonna tack it down, but like, I don't hate it. Like, it gives it like a little bit of.
That's fine like that.
Yeah, it's got a little character to it, right?
I love it.
And big pockets, like super big, deep pockets that are.
Look,
stretchy.
Kitty made a sweater she can put her kid in. That's how big those pockets are.
I mean, I could probably fit the cat in there. I
You
mean,
could.
it's a very, very big
Yep.
pocket.
Put in thumb holes.
Yeah, she actually said earlier because she
I
hasn't
was
done
thinking about it.
she hasn't hemmed the sleeves yet. She was talking
No,
about
I
putting
hemmed
thumb
the
holes in.
sleeves. Because they're so
Oh, did
big,
you?
I'm not gonna do thumb holes on this one because the sleeves are
Oh.
so oversized.
Right.
Because like it would be kind of like weird. Like if I had
Awkward,
made
yeah.
one with tighter sleeves, which I'm gonna actually be cutting out another one, and I'm gonna make it in a much smaller size. Because I do really like this pattern.
Sweet.
But
Hey,
I
here's
have
a
3
question.
water bottles in this pocket, and there's room for more.
Here's a question. You know, like on a t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt, it's got that kind of ribbed cuff. You know, you'll see the same kind of thing on like a winter coat, a ribbed cuff at the end of the puffy stuff.
Yeah.
Where the hell do you get that kind of material?
Like it's a special type of like elasticated material that you can buy for cuffs and collars. You can kind of sort of make something similar, but it's different yourself, and that would be a shirred fabric, where you basically take your sewing machine and you have to hand wind the bobbin, but you use some of this. This is actually 1 millimeter elastic thread, and you put this in the bottom bobbin and the regular thread in the top, and then you sew straight lines on your regular cotton fabric. Like you don't do it on stretch fabric, you do it on a cotton, like a lightweight cotton, or even a quilting cotton would work. And so you do straight lines with this thread into the bottom bobbin and normal thread in the top, spaced about 1/2 inch apart. And I don't know if you guys remember the tube tops from like the 90s and the early aughts, that it was just like an accordion. It was well, it was kind of like an accordion. It was like a little tube of fabric that looked like an accordion, and you pull it open and it would stretch and give you a fitted. That is shirred fabric. Yeah, that is shirred fabric. So you can use shirring to make your own like cuffs if you don't have the ribbed cuff material. But that is something that is like woven specifically in that that shape.
Can you do ruching?
I'm not sure what that is.
Ruching. It's the. Oh God, you'll see ruching on the ass of women's panties. You'll
Or on the
see
sides of some dresses.
You'll see it on the bodice. There's some dresses that have it all the way down the front, and so it gathers all the way.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do that. And it's just really time consuming. Whereas like shirring fabric is much, much faster, especially with, an actual sewing machine.
It's become really popular. I love leggings. I'm a leggings junkie, and I've been shopping for leggings lately, and all over the place they're selling these leggings that are ruched, if that's the correct word, or have ruching, and it's like, geez, how can you wear this in public? It's like the butt goes all the way up your damn crack, top to bottom.
I've got a couple pairs of leggings like that, and yeah, they don't get worn in public. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, right.
Actually, fact of the matter is, I own 5 pairs of leggings, and they are all fleece and flannel lined. And when I lived in Ohio and it was freezing ass cold out, I would put on fleece lined jeans and those underneath. And those were, I wore them like long johns, and they will keep you fucking warm. I'm not even playing. You put some fleece lined jeans over top of those things. Man, I was toasty in the winter, walking around looking like I just had a pair of jeans on. Everybody else was wearing like all these layers and walls and Carhartts and shit. And I had those, but I didn't have to wear them until it got down to like probably below 5 or something.
Yeah, I've got flannel line jeans from when I was working outside in Michigan.
Yeah, they're great, aren't they? What, Jenny?
Yeah, no, ruching is similar. It's a similar method to, I'm looking at it now. It's a similar method to what you would do for shirring the fabric. Like it's more about getting the gathers though. Like you can still use elastic for it, or you can do the gathers, you know, by hand. Whereas the shirred fabric, it's just, you basically would make the piece that you're going to do, leaving a little bit on the edges so that you can, you know, sew your seams, sew your hems. But yeah, no, it's not that much different.
I was just thinking, Kitty, I brought it up because I was wondering if you'd be willing to be really nice to Stool and make him a ruched t-shirt for himself. You know, just down the bodice and stuff. And might make him really happy.
Like I might actually do that. Like when I get some time, like I that might be fun. But I would need Stool's measurements. Unless I did it shirred instead of ruched, and then I don't need
really
exact
think you should
measurements.
say, Stool, what are your measurements? I think that would be a bad way to put it. You might want to be a little more specific than that.
Fair point. But no, if I went with a shirred top instead, I could do like a little square neckline. I think would look really cute with like some poofy sleeves.
Sure.
And then I wouldn't need exact measurements, because with shirred fabric, like it will stretch quite a bit, but still give you a fitted look. So
couldn't you just do it out of jersey material?
I mean, you could, but if you want to get that, like, you know, shirred / ruched look, you can't do that with jersey. You would have to do it with cotton, and then you add the elastic, and that's what gives it that accordion stretch.
Okay, so it has to have a linen weave then.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because if you were to try to shirr something that's already stretchy, it would just become a tangled hot mess. Like this would not be able to be shirred because, like, I mean, it's got less stretch going up and down along the grain line, but like the side to side stretch in this is quite a bit. So like you couldn't shirr something like this, but something like this is just, you know, cotton, or I think this might be a poly cotton blend, but this would shirr nicely because it doesn't really, except on the bias,
flexibility.
Right. And
the only way it's got any stretch is on the bias, and it's very
color would be perfect to bring out Stool's eyes.
Yes. Oh my God, it would look so good with his head. The skin tone. Yeah.
Say a very bright red. It's not really showing up on camera as well, but very bright red.
It looks purple pink.
Yeah, no, this is actually red. It's like blood red.
Really?
Which light you have an LED daylight, and you have an incandescent somewhere, because it's red when you're low in the frame, and it's pink purple when you're high.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure, things are pink purple when they're high.
Lots of things are pink purple when I'm high, man.
But basically, that's the same fabric that I used for my extra large bag. Like, I did this in black and red, and there's some extra fabric that does not belong in my purse. But, well, it's not really a purse. It's more like a tote bag that I bring with me. But, like, I love it because it's got room for my fold-away cane. So, like, I've got an extra large pocket on the outside so I can put my cane in there for when I'm out and about. And this will fit a couple of water bottles easy on this side. And there's, like, pocket here. And then there's a pocket, or a zipper pocket here, a zipper pocket on the inside, along with 3 other pockets, 2 elasticated and 1 non-elasticated. So there's a ton of little, like, hideaway places in there. I was actually thinking about making my sister a bag like this, but for one of the outer elasticated pockets, have that not be used for like anything. Like you could still use it for it, but you would be able to reach in that elasticated pocket, and there would actually be a place for concealed carry, because my sister has her concealed carry, so she could actually, you know, conceal carry in the bag. So it's like if you need to get in there, you would literally just be reaching into the side of your bag and not have to, like,
what if some thief comes along and steals your purse or bag?
Well, no, I mean, it's one of those things, like concealed carry bags are a thing that people
kind of playing
use.
devil's advocate. You know what I'm saying? Like that could happen.
It could, but like I said, if it's a bag that you have over your shoulder, it's not likely that someone's going to
it's not
steal it,
hold down by the handles by your side bag. It's a shoulder.
Yeah, no. I was going to make her a
that's
shoulder
different.
bag, like, but it would be like this, but
better.
smaller, and it would still have those pockets on the outside, but one of them would be meant for sticking your hand in. But I would have to work out the logistics of it, because I would have to do some mock-ups and or toiles if we were talking about fabric or clothing. Like there's another little history thing, like a mock-up is a toile, which is a word that means fabric. So whenever you're doing a sewing project, if you're using a new pattern, or if you have to make modifications, or even if you're using a new material, like it's always good to do like some testing. With a new material, you want to do a small testing because you don't want to waste it, especially if it's expensive. But with a new pattern, what you want to do is find a material that is similarly behaving. So if you're using a stretch like jersey, you wouldn't want to then use cotton for your mock-up, or muslin, because it's not going to have any stretch, so it's not going to behave the same way. Right. But if you're doing something out of cotton, then you could use muslin, or just cheaper cotton. Or if it's something that doesn't have stretch, you could probably substitute cotton or muslin or linen, although linen is kind of expensive. I digress. So like you basically make your outfit before you make your outfit, because before you want to cut into your expensive fabric that you spent a lot of money on, you want to make it out of cheaper fabric so that you know that it fits, because then if you have to make any alterations, because it's like, oh, well, it's really saggy up at the top, or it's too tight around my hips kind of thing, then you are not wasting expensive fabric, because there is a lot of trial and error in sewing, and there's some standardization for patterns, but not really. Like, and they might say, oh, if you have these measurements, it'll fit, but it's like, maybe, but it's always better to make a mock-up and try it on before you start cutting into your expensive fabrics.
So hold on, let me get this straight. Sounds a little racist if you're saying that Muslims are cheap and stretchy.
Muslin.
I was kidding.
Muslin.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
I thought I heard that too.
When you make that bag for
that
me,
was absolutely terrible.
Thank you.
You are.
I will take that as a compliment for you, sweet.
That was on the level of dad jokes. Absolutely terrible.
Thank you. Yes. Finally, I'm trying to get into the Cynthia dad joke club, because she's really good at dad jokes. So I'd like to get to that level one day of dad jokes. So
nice. Kitty, when you make that bag for me, add a foot to each strap, so it hangs on my shoulder better. I got a big shoulder.
Yeah, no, because like these straps here are like 24 inches, so I can add an extra 12 inches. In fact, I could even go and see if I could find the hardware and put like it'll keep those straps the same, but then have like a longer strap that is wider, so it would be like a regular like shoulder strap that's adjustable. I'll see if I can find the hardware for that, and I can sew that onto the bag that I'm making for you. I'll even put an extra secret pocket on the inside.
Like a little padded thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
You could actually, Cootie, what you could do is that padded thing that goes underneath the strap, you could put a little pocket in there.
Yeah.
For like money or whatever, because it's be right up there on your shoulder.
Well, inside the bag, I actually have a zippered pocket on the inside as well. So I was going to put one of those in the bag for Jenny. And then on the other side, well, then there's just a regular like pouch pocket. Like there's no elastic in this. It's just straight up sewed into there. But then on this side, there's actually two elasticated pockets. So like it holds stuff in place better. So when I make Jenny the bag, I'm going to go all out like I did for myself, and it will have all the pockets.
All the bells and whistles, baby.
As long as it can fit a 19mm wrench. You know,
Oh yeah, it definitely can. Now I look like a cultist.
Oh.
I'm a
Dave
cultist.
asked, did you just invent the push-up mask? Is that like the push-up bra? I'm confused.
I'm
have you
loving
guys
this
seen,
sweater.
speaking of which, have you guys seen those little cages they make now? They're called a mask cage.
Oh
And
yes,
they're
they're like
plastic,
3D
and you put them
printed.
inside your mask so you don't suck your mask against your face. You can breathe better.
Oh,
That motherfucker is smart, and he's rich now. So pissed off I didn't think of that.
Oh wow.
God damn.
I've seen them made out of foam, where you basically, like, cosplayers use foam, and it's a combination of a foam, a Dremel, and some like adhesive to make the cage, or 3D printed versions.
Well, this is more like a 3D printed thing, and it's that let's see if I can describe the plastic. It's opaque, almost clear, with translucent or whatever you want to call it. And it has like a piece like this that's kind of shaped like your face, shaped more around your face, and then it comes out and has like a little mesh cage for it.
Might be
It's all plastic.
That's polypropylene plastic that's flexible.
Yes, I would agree with that. It probably is. Yes,
I hadn't thought of the idea, but now that you mention it, I could see a really simple way to do that with just a piece of a very thin foam rubber, just kind of cut and folded and stitched, that it would keep it off of your face like that.
Yeah, that's what the cosplayers were doing. It was basically like the foam that they would use for making armor and such. Cosplay foam, it's about like yay thick.
Yep.
And they would basically shape it and glue it and essentially
I've used it for making stuffed animals. Just an 1/8 inch thick foam rubber. And basically just if you cut it as a circle and cut a little wedge out of it, and then bring those two edges together and sew it up, then it'll, make it form kind of a shallow cone.
That's what I want to learn to sew is stuffed animals. I want to make myself like a 2 to 3 foot red panda, so I can snuggle.
So Jenny, did you pick up that book that I recommended you? Because there's actually a stuffed animal pattern in there. It's for a small stuffed elephant, but it's something to get you started.
Okay.
I
can teach you the basics of that.
Animals anybody wants to send and make.
I'm sorry, what's that, Cadus?
I said I will totally accept any stuffed animals anybody wants to make and send me.
And if it comes with a little whip, it's even better.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go steal Chris's plush because I need to show it to Junie. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back.
All right.
Go ahead.
I will have to get some pictures on here because, again, this was more like 20 years ago, but, I used to make some stuffed dinosaurs and dragons. And I've actually got a whole fistful of ribbons from the Minnesota State Fair.
Hey,
I actually got a first place for a set of stuffed dolphins I made.
I was just on TV.
You were on TV?
Yeah.
For what?
Local news report?
They were showing shots of people relaxing in the park I was in today, and there I was. It was like a 2-second shot.
That is awesome, though. You're news famous. One more step, and that's it. You're gonna be rich.
Oh, I was just thinking that the next time she's in my chat, now I can bill it as seen on TV.
All right, Junie, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Because I was naked in the park.
Shut up, Jenny. No, you weren't. Go ahead, Kitty.
Right, Junie, are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Very cute.
It's a little.
I got this.
Fox?
No, it's a Shiba Inu. It's a little sleepy Shiba.
Uh-huh.
I got this for Chris. I think I got it on eBay. but I'm gonna have to like make one. Like I'm gonna practice until I can make, like, it doesn't seem like it would be too hard. I'd have to like hand embroider the mouth, but like the nose and well, the eyes I'd have to hand embroider as well because I don't have an embroidery machine. But is this adorable little Sheba?
It is
Very
cute.
adorable.
I got a live stuffed
Little
animal
tail.
full of cat food that just jumped up on my lap and attacked me.
I need a stuffed animal to snuggle with.
Oh.
You know, I
Shiva,
don't. Go ahead.
she's waiting for me to. I'm just getting home actually. She's waiting for me, probably at the door because she hears my car backing up.
Oh yeah. My cats wait at the door every single time.
The little.
As soon as I can hear them, like I can have my truck door open and pulling stuff out of my truck, and there's no sound. And as soon as I close my truck door, I hear da-doop, da-doop, where they jump down, and they walk over to the door. So they wait for my truck door to close. Oh,
My car is
even got
very
the little
quiet,
tail?
but when I back
Aw.
up, it does like that backup kind of thing where like how trucks would do.
oh, that yeah, beep, beep, beep. Yeah.
You know that noise that the Prius makes?
No.
Oh, that. I can't
Wait a minute,
really
this
do
one?
it.
I'm kidding. I don't know what it makes.
No, but actually, no. That when they were, like doing the prototypes of the Prius, one of the concerns was that the car was too quiet and that pedestrians wouldn't be aware of it approaching. So
Yeah.
they actually have it making an artificial noise. It doesn't need to make that noise. That's actually engineered just to make the noise.
I think I remember you. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
you telling me that. Yeah.
I heard that they were talking about something like that. I didn't know they actually did it.
Yeah.
In my car, it does that. Like once you pass even 2 miles an hour, it starts like doing a loud whistle just so people can hear it coming.
Yep. Yeah, the Prius does a noise that's kind of like the saucer car from the Jetsons.
Yeah, mine also
And
sounds
there's
like
no
a little
reason to make
spaceship.
that noise, but they needed it to make a noise, and they wanted something that sounded high tech.
Yeah,
They made it
pretty
sound
much.
like the Jetsons.
Yeah.
I've got a giant V8 powered F-250, so if you can't hear me coming, you deserve to get hit.
Well, I have a 1500 Chevy Silverado, so it's actually really quiet for a truck until I hit the gas hard.
Well,
And
I'm
the
planning to get an
Vortec
electric truck
V6
too
kicks in.
one day.
When the V6 kicks in and that turbo kicks, you can hear it. It's pretty loud.
Mine's like it's a 15-year-old Ford, so yeah, it makes noise.
Oh yeah, you hear that fucker, right? You and the Harley, nobody's missing you.
I can't believe how quiet my car is. The muffler that's on it is the original muffler from 1996, and it's still quiet as all get out.
You live in Minnesota. How's that possible that didn't rot out?
Well, first of all, BMW does a lot of rust prevention on their mufflers. They're coated in zinc and aluminum, and then they're painted. Most paint burns off towards the engine.
Yeah, but
Some of it lasts towards the rear. And when I bought the car, it had spent all those years in California.
That'll
okay,
do it.
well, California explains part of it, but then even more so that when it came to Minnesota,
Well, that's what's so surprising is I've had it up here for 5 years now, and it's just amazing.
yeah, anything short of stainless steel should not have survived 5 Minnesota winters.
Well, it has. I can't believe it myself. A good thing because it's like $700 for a new muffler.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Have you seen what the new headlights are for like the brand new Audis? They're like $2,200. Because the way they made them is you have to replace the entire assembly.
Oh yeah, all the companies started doing that. Yeah,
Because the interior of where the bulb is argon gas. So if there's any crack or anything, you have to replace the entire housing. And you can't take the bulb out because that releases the argon gas.
Is that why they're doing it? Okay.
Is
I thought
the
was
bulb
that
an
because of the
LED or-
daytime running lights?
Oh, wait. You guys ran over each other. Jenny first. What?
I'm wondering, is it LED based or incandescent, halogen, xenon?
They're LEDs.
Why does it have to be an argon? That's
I'm
just
sure
Makes
there's
it
a
last
reason.
longer? I don't know.
I'm sure there's a reason.
Hey, Cadence, what did you say, honey? I didn't hear you.
Oh, Ginny was talking actually.
Yeah, but you were saying something too, weren't you?
No, I was curious why it was housed in argon.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
I haven't asked that.
somebody in the chat do a search Audi argon headlights. Why?
Well, it sounds like they're horribly expensive, so I'm glad I've got Nanny.
Well, that depends. When BMW first came out with their xenon lights, they were getting $700 to change all 4 headlights, and they always recommended doing them all at once because they age and change color. And so they would say do all 4, and it's going to run you around $700, something like that. But you could buy the xenon conversions for other cars on eBay for $50.
Yeah, I had to replace the headlights for my car, and I did have to replace the whole housing because some of the brackets weren't in good shape anymore. But the entire new headlights with the housing were still only like $35 each on eBay.
Yeah. I converted my my headlights on an E36. It's high beam, low beam are in one housing.
Yeah.
The Americans have a plastic lens in front, and that's why you see all these cars that they get all foggy and you can't see through them.
Yeah, the plastic gets scratched.
Well, I bought a set that were glass. And,
I did that to my Civic.
And they were projector type, which means they have lenses actually inside the bulb, or the bulb housing, I should say. And you can use those properly for a xenon bulb. Because you can focus it and direct it, so you're not blinding the fuck out of everybody around you. And those,
I hate those blue halogen bulbs. When I'm driving and a car with blue halogen bulbs comes at me, that's horrible.
No, those aren't halogens. Those are the xenons.
Those are the xenons. They hurt my eyes, man.
Yeah,
bad.
I have a big problem with those too.
When people convert their car to xenons, they're not changing the lamp assembly or the whole headlamp assembly. They're changing just the bulb. And a headlight is designed with their pattern, all that, those squares and stuff up front, to focus the given type of bulb that it has. And so when you put in a xenon bulb, first of all, the illumination point of the bulb's in a different location than on incandescent, and so it's not in the proper spot to do any of the focus, and so you get light just bouncing off anywhere and going all over the place, and that's why you get blinded. It's because a lot of these people have converted their headlights themselves, and you shouldn't have, because it's not set up for it.
Well, and Dave is saying in the side is argon used for temperature insulation, and I don't know about in cars, but yeah, in replacement windows for houses, they put argon between the layers of glass for insulation.
See, that would make sense because LEDs run really hot. That's why they have. That's why the housings for LED bulbs are huge, because they've got heat sinks, and some of them have fans on them.
Okay, then argon would be stupid because argon would keep the heat in.
Oh.
Well, argon is inert, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, but if the bulb is producing the heat, the argon would keep the heat at the bulb, whereas if you just had an empty chamber with just regular air, it would disperse the heat faster.
Going.
Well, I was thinking they're putting argon in because it's inert, and it would help prevent any sort of corrosion in the LED circuitry, which will keep it bright and lasting longer.
That's all you have to do is put a really good heat sink behind it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It probably would work if the heat sink is all behind the housing, and just the argon is contained on the bulb.
I am not taking the assembly apart to tell you guys.
Kitty, don't do like that.
That's why I'm thinking that the argon is not there for heat issues. It's there for non oxygenizing,
Oxidating.
oxidating, yeah, as a non-oxidating gas to preserve the bulb assembly.
No, it's my new tracing wheel.
All I know is that they told me that the housing should never have to be replaced.
Really?
Yeah. So because that's why they're so expensive, and because they're never supposed to go out.
That would check out, because LEDs, especially new LEDs, have like 100,000 plus hour lifespans on them. And if you do something like argon gas to extend the life of them, then yeah, it will probably last the life of the car.
See, but that's
with incandescent lights, argon is used in the bulbs because it keeps the filaments from burning out so fast. But again, that's
caveat with an LED is the LED is very capable of lasting 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 hours. But the solder and the circuit board that it's attached to is a piece of junk.
Yep.
It's going to corrode like nuts because they don't even use conformal coating in a lot of these things. And
yep.
they're exposed to the elements all the time.
Most LEDs will outlast their electronics, the LEDs themselves. I know I have a ton of them I've desoldered and used in other things.
Unless you buy German.
I've been putting the LED lamp, household lamps in my sockets for years now, and they burn out about every year and a half, 2 years. It's not actually burned out. The LED still works, but the solder in there has given up. You just touch the LED and it falls off, and they wire the damn things in series. So when one goes, they all go.
Well, that's non-conspiratorial planned obsolescence on a light bulb. So
sure is. I mean, and which makes sense, because if they're not selling bulbs, they're not staying in business.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, the LED lasts this long, but nothing else will. Sneaky people,
It's true. Well, the advertisers have always been sneaky.
Yeah.
They always prey on certain kinds of people for their products and all kinds of shit. And half of it's crap.
Yeah.
Got hair all over me.
That's what you get for having a hairy pussy in your lap.
I know, right? It's the only way I can get it. I just call one of the two of them and pet a pussy for a little bit, and then, I'm good. I'm ready to go to sleep.
I want some pussy so bad.
You gotta tell me. Anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna cut this off here pretty soon because I'm fucking tired because I could not go to sleep last night.
Okay.
And I have an early day tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to get an extra 45 minutes to an hour in the night, hopefully. Make up for it a little bit. Does anybody have anything they want to throw out there before we get off of here?
Thursday night, I will be doing a stream with Jen and Will. So come, hang out there. Hope to see you guys. We'll be actually talking about COVID. And I know we've talked about it quite a few times, but there's some new stuff that's come out that I definitely wanted to discuss. So
is that on Jen's Little Corner or on Godless Sewing?
It should be on Jen's Little Corner.
Okay.
If not, if it ends up being on Will's channel, I will put a notice out on Twitter and let everybody know.
Put it out on Twitter anyway. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I always do.
But it should be on Jen's channel.
Right.
But if not, then it'll be on Will's, and there'll be a notice either way. So.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Purple?
Yeah. And, tomorrow at midnight, instead of just usually my casual chat starting at midnight, we're going to be dealing with a serious subject that heavy trigger warnings for people about surviving abusive relationships.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to run that for a shorter show, probably about an hour and a half, and then we'll do a casual after party after that.
That's cool. Good. That needs to be talked about. Good for you.
I got a plug I'd like to make.
You like a what?
Make a plug.
Okay, plug it.
Anybody in the chat who likes my avatar, Junie down here is the person who did it, and she's wonderfully skilled and does beautiful artwork, and I recommend you get a hold and get your own avatar made.
Yep, Junie did mine as well.
Yeah, we want Junie's artwork to dominate the web.
Oh,
absolutely. It's absolutely worth it. It's beautiful stuff.
It really is. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, and so perfect for each of you.
Like me? No, of course it doesn't look like me, but it represents the things about me that I think about when I think about what I look like.
Right.
The hair length,
well, and that's
color,
what matters.
Color, my favorite red beret. I wish Junie would have given me some really good knockers, but.
Well, I do want to say, Jenny, the first time I saw that avatar, I didn't even have to look. I automatically knew it was you. Just so you know.
Oh.
I didn't even have to think about it. I saw the avatar and I was like, that's Jenny.
Yep. It screams La Crosse, Wisconsin.
It really does. No, it just screams Jenny. Shut up.
That's what I've said about mine too, is that mine is maybe what I would have looked like if I could have transitioned before I was 20.
Right. Agreed. Stool, you got anything? Nope, you're muted. Okay. Sweet, what are you doing? You got to do anything? Popping around people's channels, talking shit?
I've got several irons in the fire. I did find one factoid out today that I thought was interesting, that at the current rates of world militarization, the second place military will catch up to the United States in 2242.
China?
It will take 220 years for them to catch up to us.
Well, but you're saying if we don't advance from now.
No, at the current rates.
Oh, at the current rates.
Yeah.
Who's that?
It's China.
China?
Yeah.
China.
There are currently 22 supercarrier strike groups in the world. All of them are operated by us. China has 5 jump carriers. It takes approximately 20 to 25 jump carriers to deal with one supercarrier.
It's true.
China can't fuck with us.
I've never been worried about that, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what I figured, is that any one U.S. task force could probably take on any other navy in the world.
That was it. And then the other one is the demographic bomb, which is if you remove the United States from the top 50 economies of the world, the shape of the demographics does that spade thing. Looks like a spade, and the world, the United States and Mexico are the only ones left with demographics that aren't going to implode their economy. And the only reason we have that, can you guess? Immigration.
Really?
Because people want to come here so badly, and people are coming here in droves. It's the only reason why our demographics are not going to explode. All of Europe their economies will collapse.
And when you say explode, you're meaning that we're not bringing in enough new workers to pay the.
Europe is not bringing in enough people.
Yeah,
right. Not enough people.
Korea, Japan, China. The one thing about China, though, is
hold on. Let me finish it. That they're not bringing enough people because those people are paying for the retirement of the people before, and you have to have more of the next generation than the previous generation to make that economically work.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
And then China is facing a specific problem in that there will be roughly 38 men who will not be able to have partners, because of the way that their patriarchal system did them wrong.
Yeah.
So
I know that was a huge thing.
So the incels are going to have a Chinese branch, huh?
Yeah.
They'll, except for the fact that they will actually be incel, like to the actual definition.
Yeah.
Because that's a recipe for internal strife.
I didn't realize it was that heavy, but yeah, I knew that it had been a thing going on for decades, that there had been such a pressure put on to have a son to carry on the family name, and with the one child per family thing, that there were going to be far more boys than girls. And
that's hitting this generation. So there's a lot of and with homosexuality obviously being very taboo in Chinese culture and everything else, there's no outlet.
Right. That's true. Okay, so let's carry on with wrapping it up, and then you guys can continue this conversation in the backstage because I'm tired. Cadence, you have anything?
I ain't got shit.
My
last video was 6 months ago, and I really need to do another one, but
yeah, I haven't heard from you in a while, so I thought I would ask. So,
appearances on other channels?
Nothing planned.
Okay.
I mean, if somebody asked me, yeah, I mean, I can probably make time for it.
Well, you can pop onto mine anytime.
And you're always welcome in here. And there's a few I need to ask about interviews here soon. So for the month of July.
The one thing
keep that in mind.
The one thing I was thinking about doing, but I only have like 2 megs upload speed, so it's really hard for me to do. But I was going to take my curio collections and actually start streaming them regularly. So I might experiment with that coming in the next month or 2. But other than that, I don't have anything planned.
Yeah, you should put that on TikTok too. You get a bunch of views off of that on TikTok. Absolutely. I think TikTok is really popular because the videos are so short, and people have such short attention spans these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
TikTok is YouTube for people whose attention span doesn't survive more than a minute.
Right. Well, now they can make them up to 3 minutes if you have so many viewers or whatever. But yes, you're right. Most of them are 1 minute. Junie, what do you got going on?
Oh, speaking of TikTok, I did start my, account maybe a month ago. So I started posting a few videos in there. Some of them, of course, are just like shortened introduction videos so that people can, I guess the grand scheme of it all is just for people to go check out the longer version of the video on YouTube.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
You should send me that. Send me your handle or whatever on Twitter, and I'll friend you and see if I can. I don't know, maybe get you out there more. I have quite a few people that follow me. Not a lot, couple like 100 and something or something that follow me.
Yeah, but
and then a lot I follow.
But those are mostly bill collectors.
No, actually, no. I don't have shit for. I don't have. I have 2 loans. I'm almost done with one. I want to be rich in November.
Junie, if you DM $60 a month, a link to your TikTok account, I can add that because I've been putting your links in the description for all of my chats since you're one of my Patreon supporters.
Oh, nice.
So I'll add your TikTok link in there if you send it to me.
Thanks. It's like a mixed bag of things. It's like kind of a mix of all 3 of my channels so far. What I kind of want it to be, and yeah, I'm working on a couple of projects. One will be kind of my last production for the season 1 of my channel, I guess you can say, and then I'll be taking a break for the summer, and then I'll be coming back in the fall to start my scary stories season, I guess you can say, and then I'll continue on and then stop again. I got to go back to school anyways, so
yeah.
But it was very, very, much a privilege to be here. I'm happy to have been able to show up.
Junie, what are you
getting out of work, and especially to finally get to meet Cadence.
Yeah, I'm glad you 2 got to meet. What do you? Jenny was asking what you're going to school for. What are you going? What degree are you going for?
Oh, I'm just trying to see if I can climb the ladder so I can be a dentist. So I guess I'm gonna agree to a degree in applied applied science, and then work my way up.
Well, you should go move to Milwaukee and go to Marquette Dental School.
Nice.
Go to Creighton.
Go to bed. Okay, everybody, I'm ending this. You group of great people can continue talking.
Wait.
What?
Wait. I'm going to say that for the next 45 seconds because then we'll hit 3 hours. Wait.
My God. Seriously, do you want me to wait? I've done 4 hours stream. Well, actually, my longest is 3 hours, 58 minutes. But I'll wait. I'll wait, Jenny. You really want me to wait?
So you're saying everybody, we need to go another full hour?
No, we're going to bed. You guys can talk in the background all night after B is sleeping ever so gently and snoring, and no one's here to bitch. So everybody on my panel, thank you so much for coming in. You know I love you guys, and it was another great conversation tonight. So I appreciate you for that. Everybody that came into the chat, as usual, I love you. Thank you for hanging out and showing up all the time, and I appreciate the support.
And I've lost officially 20 pounds.
Yeah. Oh, good. Good. And take care of yourself. Take care of one another, and have peace in your life.